Hello, everyone, and welcome to PHL America's Regional. We're finally back with some league play action. I am your host, Randomize, and I'm so excited that we are finally getting PHL on the ground moving. We had EMEA earlier today, and now we have our region, my region, where I live, the best place where you can actually see some finals action. No offense, EMEA. But yeah, very excited. We're finally starting with PHL League play. I'm not going to do it by myself, of course. We have some amazing people that are going to be on the desk with me. We have Cody and Sam with us today for this show, and I'm very excited. So, gentlemen, join me here. Hello, Sam. How you doing, brother?
Hello. I am great. I spent all afternoon, don't tell my boss, watching the EMEA stream while working from the couch. And glad to be on the desk today to help out after the series. And alongside, somebody, a familiar voice that you may have just heard on the EMEA cast, Cody.
Yeah, well, I was here for the EMEA. Don't tell my boss. I called out sick for that. But nonetheless, we are here for AMER, and I am so excited. I think we got a ton to talk about, boys. So, Randomize, why don't you tell us what we're getting into?
Well, first of all, I just want to welcome everyone once again. Just very excited for this moment. I know everyone here has been working very hard. Big shout outs to everyone in the background. Of course, big shout outs to Artie, you two guys, Young, and many other names that have been working on the production in the background. They're totally not yelling at me saying you forgot me. I'm kidding. You didn't. But, and of course, thank you to everyone here in the audience for coming out here and supporting. We're very excited to be into this one. But like I said, it's day one of league play. And I'm sure we have some people who are not able to catch the EMEA. And I think it would be good for us to talk about it here. So, Cody, if you would want to break it down for us, how, in fact, league play is going to work.
Yeah, well, league play days consist of 4 groups playing 4 games each, and each game is a different map. And depending on where you place, you get a multitude of points. And the best way to check that is go to our website after every game and every series and check in where people are in the standings, phltf.com. You can get all the information you need right in front of you, and then we can also break it down for you as well. But yeah, you just want to keep an eye on all of those games that are going on, and each of those groups are going to get some points depending on where they place. You definitely want to be in first place, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, that's one nice thing is that America's, dang it, Young, you're getting me to say it now. Thanks to EMEA, Amer's got that advantage of seeing kind of how it's going to be working out, and you get advantage of it every day, because again, it's week 1, day 1. And today we're going to be doing all cash outs. It's going to be that 3v, 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 3. No, not that many, but there's going to be a lot of them out there. And then on Fridays, we're going to be doing the final round, the 3v3, and I'm stopping there because that's all it's going to be. And it's going to be really important for these guys to be able to do as much as they can, as you see on your screen with the schedule. From today all the way on to the 29th, it's going to be a back and forth between cash out and final rounds. And the points is where it all matters. This is not whose lines it anyway, because you want to make sure that you have points you can get. So very excited for that one. And by the way, folks, just as a reminder, if you want to help and support us and really get some pretty cool stuff going on here, we got some big prize money, over $5,000 have been donated to the prize pool. And it's because of you all in the community. Big shout outs to people like Dixie, Kelski, I guess myself, I'm in there, Neon Guts, Flack, Comment, and many others. Thank you very much, all of you. I believe Gremlin also is going to be donating in. So thank you, everyone. And again, every penny counts. So if you got $5 in your pocket and you want to just throw it our way, feel free to. It's no big deal whatsoever. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, folks. It's a lot of money to play for. Now, just as a reminder, of course, that the prize pool gets sliced right down the middle and it's going to be passed back and forth between Americas and EMEA. So yeah, 5,000 is a lot of money, but sorry, only 2,500 or so is going to go to each. So there's more of a reason to support. If we could double that, then we can make sure that both regions get $5,000. So yeah, call your mom, call your dad, call your grandma, call your dog, whoever's got a wallet. Make sure to send them on over. Anyway, but yeah, you can do that in the chat. I believe it's !donate and go to Matcherino and send the money on over. Thank you very much. And gentlemen, before we got to here, of course, we had qualifiers. 80 teams showed up. I mean, screw you, EMEA. You know, we got more people. Sorry. I'm very proud of our region, all right? But we had 80 teams show up and only 16 walked through the doors of PHL. I'm generally curious, Sam, was there anyone like an underdog about the qualifiers that surprised you who's in here?
I mean, there's just some new names all throughout. Like I'm seeing people like K9, for example. I'm seeing Kung Pals. I'm actually glad to see a team like Godspeed in here, who was previous Team Glitch, and then they got signed during Heist games. That's a squad that, you know, I've actually really enjoyed to watch, especially Hacho on the sword. So I mean, there's a lot of awesome talent. It's gonna be cool to see how they stack up against teams like Envy, KCP, and Vengeance, and others that are here.
Yeah, Cody, anyone else that surprised you that made their way in here?
Man, I mean, there is so many. I feel like even just thinking about like EMEA, but on the AMER side, I mean, Oroki Trinity, Three Amigos, you know, K9. Like, there's just so many teams that got in. Ransom. I mean, we could talk about it for ages.
Yeah, no, you are 100% right. And thankfully, though, we have some awesome people in our community that has helped us out. Rue actually has done some interviews, has gone around and get a chat with some of these players that we will be playing with. So if I'm correct, we will be checking out some of those interviews thanks to Rue 404.
We are with the GOAT, Pazone.
Yeah,
now, this is a new team, right? Pazone, Donkrage, Rubinsky, names that a lot of us know, but newly formed. How has it been for you playing with a new team as opposed to Pulsar last season, going into the new PHL season?
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, I played with the Telco for a very long time. So like basically February last year, started playing with him, and we went through quite a bit of lights. He's obviously a medium main, I'm a heavy main. And yeah, I mean, that was a journey. I improved a lot. I learned a lot as a player. We both felt that it was time to move on to new things. The synergy wasn't really there, so yeah, moving on was really good for me. And I found a perfect team with Rob and Donkrage. We have really good synergy together, so I think, yeah, I'm excited. Everything is working out great.
Good. And I mean, yeah, you had a really strong qualifiers, looking good going into the new season. What is our mentality going into PHL now that we're in Playdays and you've made it through qualifiers and it's just locking in?
I mean, our mentality is to win, obviously, win everything, do well, be consistent. But yeah, I mean, our eyes are on the major for sure. So we're seeing this as a way to practice, improve, get better as a team. So no matter the results, we will just learn our lessons and move on and grow stronger.
How has it been now? As you said, you were playing with a Telco for a long time, so it's probably very different playing with a new team. How has it been learning maybe a new play style around different players?
The main thing that's been different is that we've swapped to double light heavy. So that's been like the real challenge for me, especially since I'm a winch player. Playing with two lights, you have no goo to like, you don't have a medium to instantly like create goo cover for you. So you basically have to be a lot more independent, take more flanks, be a bit more creative with how you approach fights. You can't just like pad on someone. Like you need to be very mindful, think plenty steps ahead.
We are with Apo of Auntie's Goo Boys. We saw a lot of goo. We saw a lot of goo in the qualifiers. And piggybacking off of that, you have a Kazo as well. How has it been playing with a Kazo? Obviously, you don't see much goo gun in pro play. And playing off of that, how has that been for you?
Honestly, the goo gun, I didn't have too much of a problem adapting to, which I find a lot of players have in the past, whether it be like facing it or playing with it. Just because it's obviously not really commonplace in the meta. But playing with the Kazo specifically has been like a breath of fresh air, honestly, because he's just so chill. Like coming from like a lot of different teams, whether it be like coaching teams or playing with a bunch of different players in the comp scene, everyone is very like uptight, it feels like. Or I guess there's like a lot of people who are. It's a very like a competitive environment, obviously.
Sure.
So people get really stressed out. So it's been nice.
Yeah, and I mean, following on from that, obviously you were coaching the last season. This is now you're playing. How has your coaching experience helped you even or affected your now gameplay as a pro?
So I would say like one of the things I had said a lot was like a lot of times when I was coaching and I'm sitting there watching stuff and I'm like, I give feedback, and then if it doesn't get listened to, there's a lot of times where I'm like, just put me in there. Like, I just want to get in there. Like, I had competed before I was coaching, and I know that I have good knowledge about the game. So it's been like really nice to actually compete again versus coaching. But I also do really enjoy coaching. There's always that like really satisfying feeling of like working through certain problems and then, you know, reaching a new goal. And I can do that as a player as well. And I feel like I've been having a blast just kind of playing with my current team, mainly just because the vibes are good.
So how has the transition been from your TSM roster to what was your ex-M80 roster, now back to your OG TSM roster? How is it feeling to be back with the OG boys?
It feels great. There was like a really big learning curve when playing with M80 because it was just a whole different environment, and when the game came back I kind of just like knew what I wanted to do, and we just kind of got back together and we've clicked really well because we all grew as players like while we weren't playing together. So I'm excited to keep playing with them.
You guys did have a generational run at TGM. What was your most memorable match? And I think we all know, but I want to ask you specifically because it might not be the same, but what was your most memorable match that you've had?
Everybody's gonna say the Alliance one, but I think for me is the first SSG one, because that was the first one where
Really?
I was like, wait, like this is LAN, like I'm back.
We're here, we're literally at LAN. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what, that's fair enough. I mean, off of that, you've played at LAN, so coming back to playing PHL back online, how's the mentality going into this esport as a new one, fresh out of LAN? It's going to be your first one back with a new team.
I think the first one, like, we had expectations of ourselves because like we knew how good we were before the LAN, but like nobody else really did besides like a couple teams. But like at this point, we're just all like pro players. So like our only expectation is to win. So
Well, yeah,
like now
because
it's just a whole different mindset.
You guys had less than like 400 hours combined leading up to the ground mate. Like, you guys were new to the game, and I think that's why your Alliance game was so impactful. Even then, you've had a break between even coming back now. Have you just picked the game straight back up again? Has the meta thrown you off? How is that feeling just to come straight back into it again?
It's actually perfect for me because the 93R is back. So like, it's literally like I'm just playing the major again because it's just the same gun that I was before.
How has it been for you coming off of TGM with now Dyrani into PHL, the new season? How are we feeling coming straight from there back into the new season with a little bit of a break?
I mean, it's a new start for us. So as you said, like we switch players like from OG to Dyrani. We are back to the work. We grind the game as a new team. We practice a lot. And we need to like practice together, discover together, learn how to play good as a team with new teammates, and that's it.
How has it been now playing with Dyrani over OG? Because you're still with Roma, and you guys obviously performed extremely well at the major, second place, really, really strong performance. Yeah. So now you have Dyrani over OG. How has it been playing with somebody else? Have you meshed really well? How fast has the switch been now?
Yeah, the feeling was really good with Dyrani at the beginning. We matched like instantly. The gameplay between OG and Dyrani is different. So of course we need to adapt our gameplay, our game style as a team. But it feels really good to play with Dyrani right now. We are performing good, like we qualified for the PHL of course, and we are doing good as well, like for esports Classic League. So yeah, it's just a different gameplay, but we adapt good as a team, like together.
What is your mentality going into the games now?
Of course, it's to win everything. Like we want to win the PHL, we want to win the esports Classic League, we want to go back to the major again this year. So we are like hard working for that. We practice a lot. There is some difficulties on the side sometimes because we all have a life on the side. But we are a hard worker and we only want the win. That's it.
Well, some great interviews. Thank you to Rue. Really good insight, honestly, on how the players are thinking about it. I always love when she asks like these really intricate questions, and then the players just go like, "We're just gonna win. Like that's it. We're winning. That's why we're here." Like it's like, yeah, thank you. I hope so. But gentlemen, let's get back into some of the topics that we wanted to talk about today, because there is one that is actually something that happens more here in our region compared to EMEA, which is HLL versus HML versus HHL. I really want to know, Sam, we'll start with you. What's the most dominant combo now?
Man, well, I feel like now we've kind of seen both sides of the coin, right? During like apes and such, we've seen a lot of Cashout, which we're going to watch today. And I would say that that's been dominated a lot by HLL. On the flip side, though, when we started to get to final round, like we saw with open quals here for PHL 26, I felt like we saw a lot more HML succeeding. I saw a lot of teams kind of throwing an audible and making the swap over. So, you know, I think it's a little situational. And then if you're a Kazo and Apo, you know, HHL is working out for you. That one, I'd say, is a little bit more on the niche side of things, at least for now. That was, though, I think the dominant kind of comp back at the beginning of Season 9, all the way back when we had I believe, the breakout show match was when we saw that, because everybody was a little nervous, and that was when Lights got nerfed to the floor with one glitch nade that was quickly reverted thereafter. So, you know, I think today it's going to be interesting. If I had to vote for one, I would say HLL probably going to be pretty dominant today. But when we get into our games on Friday, I would expect to see a lot more HML.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you. Mediums, we're still here. We exist. I swear. Cody, do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, just came from EMEA, and honestly, we saw a ton of HML. There were a couple scattered HLLs, but majority of it was HML, and one team that kind of brings to mind is Lights Out, right? They were one of the forefronts for HLL, and we were having the conversation, Young and I, of they almost felt like they were being held back because they didn't have a medium. Every single team in the lobby had that medium, and having the defib in the crazy chaos that is Cashout, that's an extra life, quite literally. And not having that going into those fights, you know, maybe your light gets picked early, you can kind of recover from that. Not having that is really, really tough. And I think it takes a certain type of team to be able to pull that off. Lights Out was a team that could pull that off. And I do think maybe that might just be an NA diff potentially. If we're going into this day, it's possible that maybe AMER just kind of understands HLL a little better than EMEA. You know, there's always been some crazy differences. EMEA has been way better at cash box manipulation, and maybe this is AMER's thing. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe we'll just end up doing it 12-way heavies, all goo guns, and that's it. That's the rest of the league.
12 goo guns.
You know, Artie would lose.
And Akazo
his
is
mind.
Probably here.
Yeah,
Akazo's
right.
probably there for that
The
one.
fact that
has
that
to be
match
there.
happened and he wasn't even there. That is hilarious. But, gentlemen, we are getting close to the end of the pre-show. So, with that, I want to see, are there any headliner games that are coming up? We got 4 groups that are going to be coming up. Anyone we should be looking out for, Cody?
Man, yeah, I'm going to say, honestly, I think this day is going to start out hot because Group A consists of Envy, Vengeance, Kansas City Pioneers, and Ransom. So I think it's going to start off as strong as it's going to get. I don't know. What about you, Sam? You have anything?
Oh, I'm with you, but there's a couple bang out groups here. Group A, definitely going to be hot. I expect to be fast paced. A lot of limbs on the board and a whole lot of probably last second steals. Group B, going to be very interesting. Auntie's Goo Boys, that's the team led by Akazo, and as we mentioned, the Goo Gun earlier. But that's also going to have Godspeed, which is Hacho on the sword as well. So I'm curious to see how that matchup's going to go. Of course, Vanguard Gaming in there as well, which if you didn't catch quals, and specifically the series between Fourth Party Cashbox and Vanguard that Cody and Young casted and almost died during that TikTok point. Go back and watch that VOD. Holy, I mean, that was like grand major performance right there, and that was just for qualifiers into the league. So and then of course K9 as well, a newcomer I believe here in the league, a team name that I'm not as familiar with, you know, could surprise everybody in that group. So, you know, I got my own Group B, but I'm just excited for some awesome finals today.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I gotta say, for me personally, as much as I'm a big Nightmare fan, I think Group D is gonna be the really interesting match. I'm also a huge Task Manager fan. I said it when I was casting, and I basically said, yeah, Task Managers is gonna win, and that they did, and I'm damn proud of that one for sure. Been a fan of them for quite some time, but not just because of the fact that Task Manager's in that match, but we also do have a substitute, I believe. Orochi Trinity, unfortunately, had one of their third players not able to pretty much commit to league play, from what I understand. We do allow our coaches to also be subs. So their coach is jumping in the helm and he is ready to fight along with them. I'm generally curious. So like we've already had unknowns with names that teams that we haven't seen before or barely see through the brackets, and now they're stepping up. So we're talking about underdogs. This is the underdog, and this is a team where it's like, I mean, it's called the dark horse, but I like underdog. It sounds more fun that way. But yeah, but I'm generally curious about that. So I think Group D is just going to be one of those matches where we're going to see, like, you know, Group A's professional finals. This is it. It's coming down to the last moment, and then Group D is going to be like, there's someone over on Nozomi while we're here on Horizon. How did he get there? Like, that's what I feel like that match is gonna be. So we're gonna get like the crazy like pinnacle finals, and then we'll probably get, hey, that looks like my rank match, you know? Like, no offense to anyone in that match. There's just the fact that, again, there's that uncertainty. You know, these teams, they verse each other all the time. They're scrimming, and now you throw another player in. You have no idea. He could be the best player in the finals, and he just didn't want to spotlight anyone, and he was just like, oh, no, it's okay, I'll be a coach, you know? But with that, folks, I think it's time that we're going to take a quick little break from the pre-show. We'll get into the actual action momentarily. We're going to take a small break, make sure we get all the players into the lobby, and we'll have our first Group A match coming up shortly. So, folks, don't go anywhere. The finals here at PHL will start soon. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, all non-binary friends, for the finals here at PHL. I am excited for this because we're finally going to get the games underway. But of course, we have to yap a little bit. And speaking of yappers, there's two faces I want to show you really quick. Let's introduce the casters real fast. I want to see if we can get their faces up on the camera if production is ready for it. Oh, unfortunately, no, you're going to have to wait. I really wanted to spoil who the casters are. It's probably somewhere already. We already know who the casters are, so we'll see them at some point. But yeah, let's bring up some familiar faces, and let's bring back the desk as we get ourselves ready for the first match, folks. And yeah, first match is going to be exactly what Sam and Cody were talking about earlier. It's going to be Envy. It's going to be Vengeance. It's going to be Kansas City Pioneers and Ransom, which confuses the heck out of me because whenever you guys say Ransom, I thought you said Random. And I'm like, I'm not playing.
How about the six, man?
Strap in, host. It's your time to shine
yeah,
now.
Lock in, bro. It's your time.
Oh, no. But yeah, so we, as anyone that has missed earlier during the EMEA, we have the players not only decide what maps we're going to be playing, we also have what the players are not going to be playing. I had that list somewhere. Yeah, May kind of lost it. So maybe production will be able to get that up for us at some point, or someone else is listening. But if you guys know what they banned, because I had to make a new list of things, I apologize about that one. I lost it for some reason. But yeah, you know what? It's better because we have awesome production. Here we are. We have seen our picks and bans. The teams banned first, and then they picked right after. So it's kind of a back and forth on how they went about it. But as you can see, the numbers and everything is a little bit funny. It's all over the place. But are we surprised about some of these pick or bans, Cody, or actually Sam? We're going to go with you first, Sam. Is there any one of these that you're surprised about that are banned?
Oh, I can't believe people would ban Fangway. What? No. No, this is pretty standard ban list. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I mean, Fortune, Bernal, Sis Horizon, and Nozomi Citadel are kind of the bread and butter, I feel like, of the finals right now. Relatively standard gameplay for three of those maps between Fortune, Nozomi, and Sis. And then Bernal has just become a map that teams have figured out over time. They figured out how to move faster, how to engage fights a little more since Season 5 on its release. So no, I'm not surprised at all by this map pool.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. I almost feel like this might be kind of common tonight. It seems to be like 4 maps in general have just been the pinnacle of competitive maps. And then we have the other ones. But I mean, for me personally, I love Fangway. I don't know why people don't like that. I feel like it's a combination of so many different maps. It's so cool. I mean, we have the only good few parts of Kyoto, right? It feels like that with the open moments, and then we have the buildings like we're in Monaco or Skyway Stadium, and then like, you know, it's a good mix of everything. So I'm kind of sad that it's not in there. But Cody, I mean, speaking of the map picks and the bans, you know, we get to start with there we go. I was looking for that one. We are going to be starting. Oh my god, I'm sorry, my computer is losing its mind. We're going to be starting with Ransom's pick. Yeah, I know. Help, please. It's a scuffed broadcast. When you have me on, this is what happens. All right, blame Artie. But yeah, we get to start with Ransom's pick. Do you think that's going to create some sort of an advantage for the bottom C team to start on their map?
No, I don't think at all. I mean, we've kind of talked about it a bit that, you know, all of these maps are kind of like the forefront of competitive, you know, integrity, right? So, I mean, there's going to be play styles. There's going to be certain things. So me and Young were talking about it on the EMEA. There are maps that are not as good for HLL as there is for others. And I think it kind of equals out, right? I mean, Sis Horizon is one of the best maps because it is so neutral. And Bernal kind of has that same sort of vibe, and so does, you know, Fortune Stadium. And so I think it'll be okay. It'll kind of even out. Everybody gets their pick at some point. That's why there's 4 maps.
True. That is very true. Now, this is something that I've always been generally curious about. When we go from map to map, do we think that there may be a change on the HLL and the HML depending on the map, or we think it's just more of just the loadouts? Is that pretty much it? What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I mean, I'm going to keep talking about EME. I know it's the AMER stuff, but it's because that's what we've seen so far, okay?
True. Fair.
Shoot me. I don't know. But
that's what they're for.
Yeah. Yeah, take me out back. I don't know. But, to be honest, there hasn't been too much changes. I think, teams have been scrimming so much and teams have had Ape Squad Classics and they feel confident. They feel comfortable in what they have been running. And there isn't too many changes that I think will happen. They're going to keep going. And if it doesn't work, they're going to figure out how to make it work. So with that, I don't think there's going to be any changes.
Okay, that's fair. Sam, do you agree or disagree?
No, I agree with him on that one. Not too many changes coming in through this one.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say the same. But before we get actually into the matches, I think it's fair if we do some predictions and talk about who we think is going to be taking on that number one space. I'm not sure if we're going to have any graphics for you guys, unfortunately, as, you have to get stuck looking at our faces moving and not sitting still. Also, I don't like my picture. I'm scared. I don't want people to see me. But Sam, real quick, who is going to be our number one team?
I mean, we got to go with the number one seed, and that's going to be Envy coming into this. I mean, top of NA currently with Apes and kind of any other competitive thing they've played in so far. But I think it's going to be close. But yeah, my pick going to Envy.
Okay, Cody, what about you?
Well, I do think Envy's a very safe choice, but I don't like safe. I'm going with Vengeance, which is definitely the second safest choice. So,
yeah, I would say that's true. But, I think it's time that the desk doesn't agree on things. And I'm going to get on my high horse, and I'm going to choose Envy. Envy, I think, is going to win this one. Got you there, didn't I? Anyway, folks, it's time to get into the matches. And, of course, we have two phenomenal voices to bring these amazing games to you. I think it's time we pass it on over to the GOATs themselves. Artie and Jerry are going to be our casters. Artie, how you doing over there, buddy?
Hello, everybody. Long time no see. It's good to see y'all, and it's so good to see your bald head, Jerry.
Oh, that's kind of you. Most people don't say that. But thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here on the AMER broadcast. I'm not usually up this late casting, but it's going to be a wild ride, I can guarantee.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, with my absolute core sanity that we all know and love, and your sleepy time, whatever it is that you people do when you sleep, it's going to be pretty exciting broadcast, I think.
This sofa folds out into a bed if things go really badly, and I'll just hand it over to you for the rest of the broadcast. So that's an option.
I like that. But how are you sure it's a sofa that turns into a bed? Because what if it's a bed that turns into a sofa?
That's a good question. Is Bumblebee a giant robot that turns into a car? Or is it the other way around? These are the philosophical questions that we get to asking on the finals on PHL broadcast.
If you use a table every day, is it still able to be called an occasional table? If you put tea on it, is it a coffee table? If you have HLL, is it a stable meta in the finals? All of these things we have to ask ourselves daily.
I don't think it's a stable meta. I think that it's all over the place. In a stable meta, you have horses, and to be fair, I've heard a lot of naysayers on the desk talking about Envy and Vengeance, not mentioning Kansas City Pioneers here, one of the most decorated teams. I mean, if we're going back, they won PHL Season 2, they won the Breakout Show match. Hey, that's a deep cut. Back in January, but just a brilliant team that didn't make it to the Grand Major, shockingly. And I honestly think that they could take this group. So there's a lot of horses to bet on in this group.
Absolutely. And I mean, plus it's Slothy, it's T-Mills, it's Varian. I mean, that is the Tyler Pike Miller, the T. Millington himself, locking down medium. And not only that, but I mean, we've seen Sloth and T-Mills and Varian pull out some crazy things over the years. But right now, when we're so deep in this conversation about HLL versus HML, who better than KCP but to show us exactly how to do it best? I have to agree. I am expecting a lot from KCP. I'm expecting them to not be horsing around as much as possible. But at the same time, I also want to see I want to see them get sort of swifty in here. We are going to be looking at Envy, Gremlin, Not Bubba, and Uni popping in with that HLL off the rip. That's what I do like to see. This is going to be super, super fun. Now, I will say, gamers, it does look like there has been a crash. A skin is crashing somebody's game, which I think is actually fundamentally hilarious. However, fundamentally not competitively viable. So we're going to pause immediately. But as soon as we're ready to go, we're going to unpause. So, yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, bit of a false start, but we've all been there before. And yeah, the ability to pause just, brilliant. Really, really helps us out in these sorts of situations. You mentioned the HLL that we're having on our screen right there. Gremlin, Bubba, Uni. They've been tearing it up. Absolutely tearing it up. In every format, it seems, whether it's Cashout or 3v3s, they have gained a notoriety in the past few weeks, at least. I mean, it's an earned one. Obviously, Gremlin and Uni forming the core of that old Nightmare roster that won TGM 25. And then Bubba just jumping in on this light roll and obviously being able to flex at will. It's a terrifying roster, to say the least.
Oh yeah, it's we're right back in. Absolutely
Sweet.
Incredible. We've got Vengeance loaded in fully. We're here on Fortune Stadium, Jerry. This is one of our favorites, of course. And already up to a fantastic start in space. He's not going to find any space as that winch removes all of his personal ones. And Belize dropping out of the bottom. No HP, no glitches or anything. He's just full gone. And that's going to be Belize removed. Looks like Logan also has lost his health bar. Standby Luke, 1 HP, a dream, and 3 opponents up the top of this rooftop. And that's Vengeance taken away, Jerry. It's off to an explosive start.
Fighter getting the better of him there with the Lewis gun. Very popular weapon in this meta. And yeah, we're seeing P90 on space. It's a bit less utilized, but still it's growing in popularity at the moment. It felt like Dead in the Water on its arrival, but speaking of Dead in the Water, maybe that's what Envy will be right now, as there's a trade actually going on each way between themselves and KCP. Slothy taking the brunt of a lot of damage, but Bubba also takes a bit of a beating there, has to dive on out. 2 versus 2 here between the big hitters in the lobby, and Varian just barely escapes Uni's XP54. Unusual to see him on that instead of the M11. Maybe he wants just a tiny bit more range as an option. But it's a full reset from both sides here.
Yeah, it is actually interesting. We've seen a lot more XP54 in recent days than I've been real expecting, given the fact that, 9-3R is so back. But obviously, with the XP, you just have so much variety you can pull out. We look to see Envy now up the top here above Kansas City Pioneers. Bubba already taken out T-Bills. No more Pike. Instead, it's all about the Chimera for him. But, of course, for Gremlin, this Shack, it be doing some work. T-Mills now removed. We bring us an Envy and KCP with 1 H, 1 L each, but that's going to be 1 less L. 1 more L, though, as Gremlin falls down on his throat. Just going to be Bubba remaining, trying to see what he can do. Possibly get the stall here. It is still their box. Kansas City Pioneers, though, they're going to solidify that wipe and add a 3rd L somehow to Envy.
That was a brave coin back in by Bubba. Uni surprisingly caught out there in midair by Varian on the side of KCP with that pistol. Really, really nice work. And it looks as though they have wiped them at an almost perfect moment. Really, this is going to be a mad dash for Envy or from Vengeance, depending on how the spawns play out here. Looks like these first 2 cash boxes are more likely to go in the hands of Kansas City Pioneers and Ransom. We don't really see any action here on B, so perhaps it's over on the other side of things, but there's a bit more time.
Oh,
yeah, we have 3 parties brawling.
Envy, this, you weren't even on this box. Well, 3rd party, and also this box is across the gap. There's literally an entire gap here. Envy diving all the way back over. Ransom now separated from their own box, but Noose, he is going to be good for 1. There's not a lot of time here for Envy to work with to make anything happen. Standby Luke, though, he's going to get involved, and that is a pause.
Yeah, an unusually timed one there. We'll see what happens now, but as you can see, Ransom, this is an interesting moment to just pause and take stock. We've got a 2 versus 2 on the point between Envy and Ransom.
So if you
Vengeance appear to be coming in.
Right here, Noose. Yeah, he's got, look at this. He's got like this perfect angle where I don't know if he knows that, is it Bubba that's back there? Yeah, I think Bubba has a beat on him. I don't know if Noose knows.
There's surely no time to steal, though, for any party here. It looks pretty locked in for Ransom. And the question would just be who comes out of this brawl on top. and can establish pace on the next box. KCP sitting pretty on the far side. They probably already made their way towards the next vault.
I do want to talk about that, though, talking about the fact that this box is kind of set up for Ransom. The reason for that is because they actually have kited pretty well. This is a spread kite where you spread one player per floor. So you can see spaces down there. Noose, one floor up, or even just from that same area. Just slightly further back, right? Separated enough where they're able to still play, but they can split and make it very difficult for them to wipe the team. See Vitor all the way down to the bottom. And that fight there is the perfect way to deal with third parties, where you do still want to get involved because there is still enough time for somebody to steal if they get the chance. But you also don't want to wipe. You want to be available to jump in for the steal, not for the fight. And that's why when they first got caught out, I thought Envy was in the perfect spot to be able to jump over that gap just in time. But Ransom made the most of it, and I do like to see that here, where it's just kind of this perfect spread, you know, of these players have so much control over the point and just a small... That is so cool!
That's a great freeze frame right there. And with the helmet as well, just looking dope. I love that our observer has the moment to just sort of find these cool things that are happening in every moment.
And we're back!
And we're back in the action! Standby Luke dashing straight out there. Clearly the call made during that break to just hit the wipe. So really smart one there. And it leaves Envy with an opportunity to steal, but great C4 there to drop the box and prevent that. So Noose now trying to get the res up here as Ransom have claimed their money.
Oh, yeah, and, well, they've also claimed the wipe on Envy. That's the second wipe here, and, yeah, KCP, as you said before, well on their way, posturing over here to Vault 3, and it does look like Cashout C is right next to it, and Gimo providing both the Vault and the Cashout. Absolutely amazing. No enemies. Kansas City Pioneers unbothered, moisturized in their lane, flourishing, depositing. 12,000 now on the way in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We'll see where Envy respawns. Most likely going to be at hospital. Yep, there they are coming back from the hospital, tending to their wounds, going to be over here and fighting KCP very soon. As Ransom and Vengeance, well, they're getting ready to fight over the other vault. Envy could third party that, but no, they're already involved in this fight over here, Jerry. Maybe we keep on Envy and KCP.
Oh my god, we just watched Belize winch the box away from the depositing Ransom there in a split moment and plug it himself, but then he's been wiped. So a really strange bit of action there, and it gets stolen back immediately.
Wow.
Very odd maneuver there from Vengeance on the corner of the map, but we should tune back in with the fight over on C between Kansas City Pioneers.
Yeah, because as that was all happening, Envy dove in against KCP, and the KCP was like, "Oh, yo, what?" And then Envy was like, "Yeah, no, we'll wait." And they waited for us to see that fight. But now,
here we go.
Gremlin, no, you were stealing for so, it was so good, and then he stopped stealing. But now, you know, KCP, they're playing this a little bit slow. Slothy looking for the opportunity to try to stop something, but he does not do anything more than stop the bullets with his body. He falls down to a bundle of coins. T-Mill's gonna go out, no more Chimera for you, but we see Varian escape with his life. KCP, it's still their box, but Varian, he's got height. That box is all the way down on the floor with Envy. Envy, no doubt, going to go for the steal right now. As Sloppy gets back up, we look to see T-Mills not in a very recoverable position, but at the very least, there's a gateway. See if they could possibly use that to dive in and find him. Looks like Varian is now gone, as Belize has just gotten taken out by Vengeance.
Ransom are just tantalizingly poised on the edge of this team fight. They can sense that there's a lot of third partying going on around this box. They're fine to just leave D for some reason. They've read this game state. They know they're not getting attacked, and they just have a couple of people waiting to pounce if there's an opportunity. Doesn't look like there will be, though, because the timer is ticking down and no one's making a meaningful push. There's a lot of kills that's going to happen right now, but none of it means anything, really, Artie.
Yeah, no, it's kind of wild to say the least, but Slothy goes down yet again. It seems like KCP, even though this was their box, they just did not have a good time with Envy doing their kind of flustered play. It was hard for me to even track that, not gonna lie. But yeah, Vengeance, they just want to be involved. Belize just wants to be here, and I think he's probably the only one, because everyone else seems to be shooting him, Jerry. But there's still two more.
They want to get out of there.
Yeah, there's still 2 more vaults. No more cash outs. You get one of those.
Lots of action to go. 2 minutes 40 left on the clock as Gremlin dives in, takes out Belize with a plum, and that's a wipe again onto Vengeance, who are not having a good time at all so far in this lobby. Not a single cash out objective, anything to their name, really, and they've wiped a lot. But who's going to make their way to the next box? We see this is Uni on Envy, tapping Vault 6, and they do have Ransom to chase. Interesting leaders of the pack, purple side. I wouldn't have pegged them to be right ahead of the rest right now, but they have control of the other vault as well. In fact, they've plugged it.
Wow, and we have Envy in a pretty good control over here. Ransom is doing fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, they're pretty much solidified. The question is, are they going to be able to hold their box the entire way through? Because they do need to hold it from Envy, at the very least. And if KCP gets wiped, they don't have to worry about that. But the way this math is working out, Envy is on their way to Ransom, and Ransom knows it. So, for Envy, this is a clear fight. For KCP, they need to understand that Envy's probably on their way over. But KCP is currently fighting Ransom, and Noose and Vitor do not care. They are going to be dealing with it in their own way. The P90 and the Lewis gun popping off to wipe KCP off the face of the earth. Here's Vengeance now.
Vengeance coming on, and there's still a 2 versus 2 up here that they could push in. And the problem is, while it's a 2 versus 2, Ransom has spent so many of their resources in that previous fight. You can see all the gadgetry coming out from Vengeance, and it's enough to take down Ransom. A beautiful little maneuver there with the red barrel at the last moment as Belize takes out Vita, and then pretty free steal for Vengeance. They might have a way back into this game.
The other thing, too, though, is that, like I said, Envy, they were kind of relying on someone else to win that, right? I mean, this is kind of wild. I think they probably had enough faith that KCP was going to be able to do that. But at the end of the day, that is kind of insane because it wasn't even KCP that did it. It was Vengeance that was able to lock that in. Logan.
Ransom are back in. And they want to reclaim first place. Where are they going to is the question. Envy look like they're completely in control over on that whole tower building. No one wants to attack it, or maybe Ransom do, but we're tuning in right now with T-Mills and the rest of Kansas City Pioneers. With only about 30 seconds left on this vault, Ardia, they're going to just go for a steal.
Well, let's see what they could do. It's going to be a 3-on-2 situation as Logan not able to come back in.
No way.
Police doing what he can, but no way. That winch did nothing. But here's Ransom involved and absolutely down to Clown. They're going to be taking it back
Only Belize
from KCP. It just changed hands of KCP, and now it's back in the hands of... No, it's not! It's not back in the hands of anybody! Oh my God! Are you kidding? Belize! He just made sure that did not happen!
That is unbelievable from Belize, and he's hitting the griddy. Why not? He's finishing last, but he's going to take that as a personal victory. Just playing spoiler at the end.
Oh my God. I mean, what more can you say? You know, Vengeance did have a kind of a rough spot there with lack of a player, but for Ransom, man, it was difficult to be able to survive up against Envy and KCP with the constant third parties, but they were able to honestly leave a really good mark. Even though Envy won in first place here, it felt really good from Ransom.
Yeah, it did. They were really in control. Look at the kills from Noose as well. 10 and 4. That's a pretty impressive stat line at the end of the game, especially when you're in a lobby with the likes of the whole of KCP, the likes of the whole of Envy. I mean, this is just stacked lobby top to bottom, really. But, you know, you've got Grand Major winners here, and he's just run them roughshod.
Yeah, it's been a difficult run, to say the least. But at least Belize and Stand By Luke, when they were able to get involved, they were looking absolutely sturdy on it. I will say, I think that when we can see them at their best, they're going to be able to put up a fight. Remember, this is just the first map of 4. We got 3 more maps, if my math is correct, after that one to say. But, I mean, Gary, God, I love the finals. I love this dynamic action. I love seeing KCP and Envy, teams that we're probably going to be seeing at TGM 26, battling it out right now. Here for the folks at home.
Yeah, it's just all about the entertainment right now. And, I mean, actually, we say it's all about the entertainment. There is a pretty hefty prize pool at the end of all this, which is ever growing. 5k last I checked, Ardy. You'd know more about it than me, but yes, looking pretty tasty.
And an important note about that is that 1,000 of those dollars are Gremlins. He needs to win to get that back, which is why you saw Envy in first place, because Gremlin is going for the funniest play of all time, where he donates $1,000 to the PHL prize pool for the sole purpose to win it back. And I love the grind. I love the hustle.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what's interesting that you bring up the grind, though, Ardy? I'm not 100% on this, but checking the PHL website, everyone signs up with their Embark IDs. You can see their ranks on it, which is really useful, especially for some of the players that are newer to the scene. Kind of gauge their ability a little bit, you know, see how they've been grinding. Gremlin, for some reason, is number 9,705 on the rank leaderboard, according to the website. I don't know whether that's a bug or anything, whether he just doesn't queue ranked this season or something, but that puts him right at the bottom of the pile, which is really weird. So, yeah,
I will
maybe
say,
the grind is just competitive for Gremlin.
Exactly. Scrims don't add to your rank, right? And
No, they don't.
not Brawler doesn't add to your rank. Well, check him on Brawler, right? Probably top NA in Brawler. Let's be
Very
real.
true.
But I gotta say, yeah, absolutely a lot on the line here. And again, for this format, you guys want to check all the scores and keep up to date in real time. So you missed a map, you gotta like take a, you gotta queue for a sec because you're feeling hot, but just check the website, phltf.com. You'll see the maps update absolutely live in real time throughout all of the games today. Thank you to our wonderful volunteers who are working on that. And again, thank you to every single person who donated for this prize pool to make it possible to get the 5K that we have here for community tournament. I get a huge shout out to Kelsky, to Neon Guts, to Gremlin, to Lycommit is in the chat right now, as you commit, and just honestly to everybody that has made this possible. A huge shout out as well to Randomize and to Flack and to Thixie for the final little bit to bring that 5K up. But yeah, guys, thank you all so much for making this possible. I'm excited to jump into the next map, and I'm excited to see if once Belize's team has, the full 3, once Logan is able to figure out his monitor, I don't know if the monitor's a problem. I just thought, whatever. Do you think they're going to be able to put up numbers in this lobby, Jerry?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, they've been punching above their weight, I would argue. They went through the whole of the quals flawlessly. They've got 3 wins, same as Envy, same as another sort of 7 teams or so that are here today. But that puts them firmly in the top 8, and there's no better than that at the moment. They also won that final 2 best of 3 against Young Guns, who are a considerably heavyweight team. So, yeah, I put high value in them, high stock in them, and once they get up and running properly, then maybe they can show what they're really made of. But, I mean, they still did decently in that. No, I've got it completely wrong. They did, obviously the team lost, but either way, yeah, they can pick it up. They can. I have faith.
I have faith as well. We are going to be seeing Envy lock in yet again with the HLL. I believe I saw an XP54, and yeah, again, love that weapon. I love the fact that we get such a nice diverse weapon pool, even though the 9.3R is so good. XP54 feels better in my heart. Vanish Bomb, of course, going to be a staple for HLL, and I'm curious to see if Envy is going to be using it as a big entry point here. I know they just heard Vengeance throw theirs. Possibly going to see him use it as an escape vector here. Uni takes first bit of damage. Jerry, I'm seeing a slower approach from Envy this time around.
Yeah, it's definitely more considered. We have Vengeance now trying to take fight onto Envy, and it looks like they're being gobbled alive here. Union Gremlin take kills, and it's only Standby Luke left scrambling. This door is not working in his favor. Gremlin just swings it open the other way and is able to mow him down with the SA-12-16. That's their box.
Door attack is crazy. On the other side of the map, Ransom is dead. Kansas City Pioneers. Vault 2 into Cashout B. ACP. Vault 1, Cashout A. Envy.
That sounded like the shipping forecast, which is a reference that no one will get here because it's AMER. I need to switch my brain on. As Childish Gambino once said, this is America, and I need to make sure I stay true to that and stop making football/obscure British naval references. We're here now on Cashout A, and Envy guarding. They've got their goo. They've got plenty of time to set up. Who's going to come and get them? We'll get those spawns in.
I don't see anybody coming to get them. I think they're chilling. It looks like a third party over at Cashout B. I see KCP poised above it. I see Vengeance on their way, and Ransom already trying to steal. Nothing, a little C4 stall can't do. Slothy triggering that remote stall. Gonna go for another one here, but no, it seems that Ransom continues to hold on to that space. And Beator, they just locked in and stole it. T-Mills now looking for the opportunity to come in for this fight. Now they realize they're not hearing shots come out from across the map. That's because the fact that the other team is on their way here right now. But Ransom just dropped down to 1 player left. T-Mills a variant. They're alive. Slothy is gone, though. Will they be able to get the res on their heavy now that Vengeance is involved? Who knows? Ransom, they are getting a little bit of reses off here. They're back up to 2 players. Beator going to be able to coin in with the defender coin they got thanks to the steal. KCP on their way to rearming themselves to having the full 3. And as we lock into a full team of set players on each of the three. This is going to be a very explosive fight. Envy getting curious, see what's going on, sending a player over here as well. But as this timer ticks down, it looks good for Ransom. They stole just the right time. KCP, they might have thought, hey, it's fine, we'll let them steal, we'll take the fight. Can't forget about the third party, because this is what happens every single time. There's a third party on the way. Whoever has the box, obviously, you're in the best spot. So this third party is going to be absolutely crazy. KCP finds one, is going to be traded out. Vengeance at least gets one, goes out immediately as KCP is able to reset. But Ransom, they didn't have to fight at all. It's their box entirely. This is third party heaven, Jerry, but at least the fight is going to happen now.
Sometimes it just plays out like that for you, and yeah, Ransom will take it every day of the week. Varian chasing down. How many times have we seen him do this before with pistol? But Noose is there to get the cover for his teammate. Really nice. And Beta is down and out. Bubba chiming in there as Envy have been completely uncontested on the far side of the map, and they, you know, they're feeling a bit bored. They want some kills as well. This is a first-person shooter after all. Why not get involved? The keen-eyed Emoji would have noticed the police heavy main is on light, as we have Detail standing in now for the player. Logan, of course, was able to have to drop out, unfortunately, for today. So we'll just have to put that sort of asterisk next to Vengeance on their Playday, playing in with a sub last minute. But here they are fending off Envy. Well, Envy fending off them at the moment. They have the stronghold of this building. Can they find an opening here, Vengeance? Peel's coming out from Bubba. But it's just, it's chipping away at everyone, and Kansas City Pioneers on the far side, maybe looking to sandwich Vengeance between themselves and Envy here.
Yeah, I really have no idea if Envy has some sort of end goal other than just be a complete menace to everybody that stands in their way, but that seems to be a very strong method in and of itself. Now, Vengeance, they are headstrong in being able to res and keep themselves alive. Envy somehow manages to scrape by in this, but again, the third party exists, and you can't forget about that. KCP manages to find a little bit of breathing room here for once, and because of that, things are starting to stabilize over here for the score lines. I mean, we've got three teams up in the 10K realm, and it's currently KCP and Ransom holding onto their boxes. Vengeance, they could choose who to engage, but KCP, look at how stable they are here, Jerry.
Yeah, and at the moment we've got Vengeance just sort of pinned back in this building while KCP hold from afar. There's the jump pad, very nice invis bomb to cover, and he brings Vengeance across. Really smart there. Envy also in the building though. They weren't expecting that, nor was Uni, who comes up and gets taken out from behind. Not Bubba gets the refrag there onto Detail. 2 versus 2 in this building. Meanwhile, Kansas City Pioneers are like, yeah, sure, you guys go at it. That's absolutely fine by us. They're taking chunks out of each other. It's now a 1v1 light duel between Bubba and Standby Luke, who's decided to go grab that totem, get a res outside. Bubba's done the same thing. Uni, in fact, they're moving away. They're heading over to Cashout D. They don't want to deal with any sort of third-party shenanigans. And now... And
at the very least, too, they do have more time on that box.
Yes,
so for that longer rotation, going to help a lot. But in that time, looks like Vengeance just has had the full chance, just poised to recover and drop on in. KCP, they are playing for this. You see they're underneath. They're already ready for, it looks like a double drop. And that being said, though, Cashout manipulation, baby! He hit the witch! He did the thing where you shoot the C4 and witch it, but oh my god, KCP, they're faster! They're able to gateway all the way out. How did they get up there that fast? They absolutely stop it in its tracks. Detail goes down in an absolute flame fest, but even though Varian, Slothy, and T-Mills, they weren't able to stay alive, they got the box. That's all that matters. Money where Slothy's mind is.
Fantastic play from KCP. Like we said, they had the benefit of being able to set up. We're tuning in now with Envy, who've managed to, well, die. That's what's happened here, is that Ransom also had plenty of time to set up their defense. Envy were recovering from that failed third-party attempt on the far side and couldn't get it together in time to fight this very difficult to contest objective. Ransom were always going to get that money, and as a reward, they are sitting top of the pile yet again. After the second wave of cash outs, we find, well, possibly the sort of most lowly rated team coming into this lobby in control.
That tends to happen when it's just third-party central. Every team is just playing to third-party, and as a result of that, one team gets left alone, and it just happens to be that Ransom just gets left alone. But look at this, Vengeance coming through with a...
Luke.
Yeah, and
coming through with a Luke. That's all they need. They had a Luke.
Sure, there it is. Yeah, thanks, Jerry. I thought you could read my
Sandwiches? Almost. We're working on the synergy, guys. It's a work in progress. Check back in a few weeks' time. I don't know. Maybe we
it's the hair difference.
Maybe we need to have more like spa days together. That might help.
Something like that for sure. Speaking of spa days, I think Vengeance is about to have one because with that scoreline, they're fine as in second place if any other team gets a box. And so I think everybody else in this lobby knows that they don't necessarily care about Cashout B right now. They need to care about getting a plug and going somewhere else to guarantee that first place position. But KCP, Coach STN at the steering wheel, he's telling them that this is the box they need. Keep them at the very bottom. As Tia was talking about earlier, how the overall macro of the scoreline really matters. The nullifier, but we've got the M11 dropping through as well. Lots of damage going underway, and boom, kills after kills, bodies, Varian away. Slothia T-Mills do what they can to try and stay up here. Vengeance, though, it's still their box. KCP needs to try something crazy here, but it feels like they vanished.
Tell you who else has just vanished. Space. He's gone into space. He's coins. He's NASA now. And we have Ransom trying to do something against Gremlin and the rest of Envy. The Lights have managed to get themselves back up as well. And we're back to a 3 versus 3 here, but Ransom, of course, are the ones defending here. They have the benefit of time on their side. Bubba trying to stick a steal, but the prepped C4 drops. He manages to hold on to it. And he's forced to pick the second attempt there. Brilliant RPG taking up Bubba, but Uni gets the refrag onto Noose, and now it's a 2 versus 2 here, Ardy.
He's nullified again! He's not allowed to play the game, but here we go. T-Mills, he's going to try to track one more steal. Another steal happening on the other side with Gremlin. That cash out just went absolutely flying, and it still belongs to Vengeance. Envy gets the flip on their side. Space dies again. We have Varian going this way. Details dead. Now we're on this fight. Gremlin's doing a lot of shit. I don't know what's happening anymore. The RPG and the ceiling are dropping down. Ransom is gone. Vengeance is gone. It's Envy and KCP. Who else could it be?
What other game can you watch 2 fights at once? Ladies
and know
gents,
what's
that's the
going on
finals.
in both. And know what's going on in both.
I don't know how our observer managed it there, but that was actually followable. I don't know about you, but constantly switching between the 2 fights on the different objectives somehow worked. But more importantly than that, 2 seconds left, and our points are decided. It is Kansas City Pioneers top of the pile with Envy second. Ransom again falling at the final hurdle into third, and Vengeance bottom of the pile once more.
Oh, a beautiful set of replays here to look at as well. And honestly, the whole time, I just want to talk about Belisa's nullifier. I mean, he just didn't let anybody play the game. That was incredible. Some great spray downs here. But yeah, Ransom, they stayed stable all the way until the very end. But it really did seem that their, I don't know, their sort of presence fell away. And Vengeance really shocked me up until the very end. But of course, KCP and Envy, when they need to get involved and get active, they do it better than most.
Yeah, and we can see here, it was such a shame for Ransom, because obviously they'd won 2 cash boxes in a row, but you know how cruel this game can be sometimes. If you don't get that final cash box and other things just don't go your way, you might not find yourself in the top 2. So only 40 points to them. In case you're wondering as well how this all works, we're playing a lot of cash out today. We've got 4 games in this one group, 4 games in every group. That was our second of Group A. And you gather points throughout the season, 100 points going to Kansas City Pioneers for that first place victory, and then 80 points. Also, you know, quite good, very, very good for Envy. Then you jump a big block down to 40 points for third and 20 points for last place. So all of those accrue over the course of the season. We're not going to go into like too much detail about who's where right yet. We'll leave that to the desk. But in case you're curious, head on over to phltf.com and you can see the standings in real time as they tally up.
Yes, sir. I couldn't have said it better myself. I was going to say, math hurts my brain. I don't know how to do numbers, and 100 is a very big and very scary number, and so I can't think. And so instead of doing the thinking, we just do the thinking for you. phltf.com to track all your favorite teams and where they're standing across all of the groups for the day. And remember that where they place in their groups today is going to matter for who they're up against in the 3v3 final round format that we play on Friday. And so Just a lot of points to keep track of. And it's all on that website. A huge shout out to Sam and Cody for that. I mean, they're so amazing. They're on the desk. They're really awesome. They got TFC. They made the PHL website. What we need them every single place. So there's a Finals Esports. Everybody, please support Sam and Cody. We love them to death. And I also love the finals to death. I'm loving this HLL thing. And Jerry, the nullifier. The nullifier has proven to be a nuisance at most.
I mean, that's what it's designed to be at its worst. At its best, it can be a round-winning item. But then there's a lot of items that you could say that of in the finals. And yeah, it's those pinch points, those real moments where you know you've got to delay a point or get through just that one extra moment of stall, or win a duel. You know, in a 1 versus 2, a nullifier can be your saving grace. You know, you hit the more dangerous target and then suddenly whip out your 93R or whatever it might be, and you're in a 1 versus 1 for about 5 seconds. It's a really, really neat little gadget for those clutch scenarios. But unfortunately, Vengeance hasn't worked out for them so far. Nothing's really worked out for them so far. They've been really, you know, they've been a bit unlucky, admittedly, in the first game, but that was another game where they came out on the bottom, obviously playing with a sub now, switching to HLL, off rolls. It's going to be a tough day for them, I'd reckon, but they'll want to come out of this with more than just, you know, 80 points at the end of 4 games, because that's the bare minimum. Well, that is the minimum. You can't get any more than that, or any less than that.
Or any middler than that. As, well, I like to say, I mean, you know, when we look at this team, we can't underestimate them. We can't overestimate them. We just have to estimate them.
Yeah. You can't be underwhelmed by them. You can't be overwhelmed by them. You just must attempt to be whelmed.
I'm tentatively whelmed by them. And, well, once again, we're going to be jumping into the HLL comp with Envy, and I'm liking the winch. I got to say, I'm liking the winch a lot from these teams. We are trying to figure out right now, though, if the Chimera is going to be the #1 thing for Monsieur T-Mills. And it worked out well last time. First place for KCP. See if they can pull it off again. Ransom in this fight. And hey, there's a mesh doing mesh things. And KCP, they've withstood a lot of the damage, but now it's time for the second wave. And Ransom, well, they're down a player already, Jerry. It looks like Noose and Space are trying to find an opportunity to reset, but I don't think they're going to get it.
Yeah, T-Mills has had that moment, found that pick with the crossbow. Certainly the best possible replacement for him to a slightly nerfed pike. And yeah, you can see he's rocking it. That controller with the aim assist, it's the perfect hit scan weapon for the moment for a player like T-Mills. It feels like back on his like overpowered beloved pike once again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's basically like, what if we had a marksman rifle that was an SMG? Absolutely beautiful. But we got to try to figure out if, well, for Envy, the way that they're poised on this box, they know a third party is on the way. Will they be able to be prepped for it? This is actually kind of a significant stagger. It's only about 20 seconds, but that is enough to wreak havoc depending on when the next team is wiped. And for Vengeance, well, that's a lot of back shots for detail.
That is. And particularly if you have the double lights on your side, you can imagine in, you know, a minute and a half's time, Envy complete this box, and then they can go and run a bit of riot on Kansas City Pioneers. Perhaps, you know, they might be seeing them as potential rivals for those league spots later down the line, so they'll want to knock them down a peg or two if they have it. Envy, though, they're doing really well today. First and second places so far. And we haven't even got onto their map pick yet, which is last in the roll. So when it comes to Bernal, you can maybe expect a win out of them as well. That's the kind of team that they are. Anyway, we have about 40 seconds already having elapsed here on Kansas City Pioneers box. And it seems as though the whole lobby is headed towards them. They don't want to have to deal with Envy on the first side.
Yeah, so we just saw what this is it is a very conscious third party wait by Ransom. They were waiting for a fight to start before they got involved, playing for the third party. This is what it looks like, chat. You want to figure out how to make this in your rank games, you do this. And you shoot like Detail just did. You shoot like Space is. You shoot like Vitor is. You just get involved in this fight last, and that's what happens. Vengeance down to just their last player here, 25 HP in a dream. He is going to somehow stay alive. T-Mills recovers his HP, but it's quickly getting chunked down by Vitor, the last player up on Ransom, and now Vitor manages to get the wipe out of Vengeance, but at the same time, this is still very unwinnable. KCP has managed to fully reset, and Ransom, try as they might, Envy is now here to third party, nay, fourth party, this cash box. And it does seem that KCP is going to be able to retain it for now. But Jerry, absolute chaos in the arena today.
Really, and Ransom are going to be kicking themselves because we did see for a minute there, they were 3 versus 1 versus 1. They had a true opportunity there, but then suddenly Space and Noose just lost their ones against different players from different teams there. Against one from Kansas City Pioneers and one from Vengeance. And then, you know, all of that stagger forced the timer to work in KCP's favor, and there's the cash going their way. So, after the first round of cash outs, it's pretty solidly Envy and KCP ahead of the pack. And I'm going to tune in here with Bubba. He vanishes up to the top floor. They are looking to jump down on KCP. We're crossing this bridge, but the opportunity hasn't opened itself out to them. Noose, though, on the other side, has taken hold of Gremlin. Now it's only the 2 lights up on the side of Envy, but Free has been tapped by them, so I think they're just going to get going towards C and say, Gremlin, yeah, you can coin back in.
Yeah, at the very least, hey, $1,000 is $1,000, but yeah, they are fighting, and well, it looks like Varian is somehow able to figure out that if he can play with this space just good enough, he's going to be able to get involved where he needs to the most. That's not in a team fight. It's in leaving the team fight because this fight is not actively earning them money. That's not where you want to be. And again, as Coach SCN once said, money on my mind. We're looking to see as, well, it's Vengeance and Ransom holding these plugs for now, but Envy already challenging Ransom on the other side of the map, Jerry. Vengeance, though, they're seeing KCP on the horizon.
Money on my mind. I thought that was Sam Smith, not Coach STN. But you know, maybe my music knowledge isn't right there. You know, maybe I got a degree in music and it's just worthless. 2 degrees in fact. Yeah. What do I know? Here we go. Kansas City Pioneers now ready to dive on top of Vengeance because they're tired of waiting for Vengeance to attack. They've got the RPG ready. Why not? Oh, okay. Maybe that's why not. You've got to hit someone with it.
Yeah, that's why not. I mean, you know what? Slothy is okay if he wants to donate his RPG to the Humane Society, but at the same time, Vengeance, they are holding on to this by just playing that kite. They know that KCP, if they dive the point, that's going to be where Vengeance has the best option for him. Slothy going to be dedicating a lot of goo for this, but it's all just going to blow up that C4. And Slothy, now half HP, tries to run away. He's got the mesh shield, but what's it going to be good for if they're on all sides of you? But at the same time, T-Mills, he's good for 2. Vengeance, they thought they had done something there, but instead, they drew them into a reverse trap. KCP was like, if you're going to make this a trap, we'll make the trap a trap. And then when they walked to the trap itself was actually a trap that ended up being a trap. And now, Vengeance doesn't have a box, and it's money on STN's mind. On the other side of it, it's Envy fight for Ransom, and Ransom, they're still holding this box for Ransom money. Envy not trying to pay it, they're trying to cash out. We have just enough space here to try and get this deal, but Space is going to drop in for a little bit of a stall, and he gets a stall, but is it enough? It is a stop! Oh my god! Space with a stall!
Now, we missed a lot of the action going over on that box. I want to say Space may have just single-handedly carried that fight. Because before that team fight, where Envy were fully recovered, he took out Gremlin, took out Bubba, and got a res on Noose, I believe. So he just filled the kill feed. And they didn't quite close out 3 versus 1, but that staggered Envy enough that we saw the result. They were able to stall at the very end, and it was, again, Space that dealt the final crucial blow. Really nice transfer there from Belize, who's, you know, showing that he's got what it takes on light as well as heavy. Taking down both Gremlin and Bubba. Now, again, only Uni left on Envy, who are last place. But looking at the tallies right now, Ardy, we're in a situation where we could be in a kill race come the end of this game. It's very tight on the scoreboard.
Yeah, very tight on the scoreboard indeed, but this is going to make it a lot harder for teams to read who wants the third party and where. We have Vengeance fighting for their life right now up against Envy, and for Envy, I mean, I'm looking at how Gremlin plays, and Gremlin, he's cool, calm, and collected. Standby Luke is dead, and also Belize is dead, and now Gremlin is dead, and Uni is also dead, and Bubba is doing what he can, but unfortunately, oh, he didn't get witched. He actually got the kill. Vengeance is gone. Let's go. Envy, absolutely crazy. That is going to earn them their ability to get this box. Said and done. On the other side of it, though, it's Ransom versus KCP. And T-Mills, well, he's got a crossbow and 15 very angry little bolts.
Yeah, the bolts are angry. In case you didn't know, they are sentient and they seek destruction. We have Slothy, Noose, lots of people on our screen right now, as the timer is already halfway through for Envy and almost for KCP. and they have a bit of a lull in the action, they can set themselves up. That's incredibly valuable for teams' experience as they. Envy, only fighting for second place here, but they'll happily take it. As we've said, as STM was saying on the desk earlier, it's about that consistency. It's about being able to just completely, guarantee that you're always in one of those top 2 spaces. Speaking of space, where is Ransom? Where is Space? Where are they going? They've decided they're going to head over to KCP on A. And Vengeance, I don't know. I don't even know where Vengeance are right now.
Yeah, I mean, Vengeance could be
they're
possible.
playing A
Oh,
as
no,
well.
Vengeance hitting, and Ransom is doing it again, Jerry. Ransom is doing it again, where they just wait for the third party, and Beachor and Space capitalize on it. 1 kill from each. At the same time, though, that is going to be ringing the dinner bells for Envy, who know that there is a chance that they can cause some upset. Now, Bubba is already gone, of course. He was one of those kills, but at the same time, Envy can now come in here and do what they can. Yeah, literally 30 seconds on the clock. See what they can do. Ransom down to just 2 players, and this is firmly KCP's box. The question is, though, who's going to help him? Because KCP's up the top right now. Nobody wants KCP to have this box, which means Ransom has a really good chance to walk away with a steal if they're able to be supported by their enemies. Question is, though, where is that going to come from? Where's the time? There's no more time. All the steals, all the goo, all the chaos. I don't even know what's going on. Everybody's dying, and KCP's in first place.
It do be like that sometimes. Congratulations, KCP. That's 2 in a row. 2 in a row for the Kansas City Pioneers. And Envy have to settle for second place, but again, like we said, they won't mind that quite so much. Ransom, it feels as though they're getting found out now. This third-party thing, it can only work so many times. It can't be relied upon. Obviously, you turn up into a lobby with this. The odds are stacked against them, let's be honest. Vengeance, even in their, broken down state, are full of some really talented players. It's a strategy that they're trying to exert, but ultimately it's one that relies on other teams doing certain things for you, and it feels as though the timing, while their timing as Ransom is perfect pretty much, there's never a perfect opportunity for them to exert that. When it came to that final steal as well, I looked over at Beater's utility. He'd spent everything. He had a goo barrel in his hands, and he threw it at the wall. Didn't even propagate properly. Half of it ended up goo stalling himself. And I was just like, yeah, there's no way. They don't get the steal here. So that's how the cookie crumbles in this instance. T-Mills rocking up 9 kills. And we did talk about the potency of his crossbow. But I want to point out Envy with the perfect, even trades here of 5 kills each. That's really nice. It's just satisfying.
Wow, yeah, 5, 5, 5. And they're all on Envy. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
There's so many things that are the same.
And yet so many things that are different as well. Also,
yeah,
Nightmare Clan player on on the side of Vengeance at the bottom.
Shout out Detail. Absolutely incredible stuff. But I got to say, yeah, for Vengeance, it really feels like they are just taking the brunt of it. In the first game, it was easy to say, oh, they had a player disconnected. It didn't feel right. And then in this one, it just felt like they weren't able to play with the timing. I mean, again, Sis Horizon, I always talk about how on this map really does show the teams that are able to play with macro and timing control. We saw in that second box, the way that Ransom just sat and waited for their opportunity to third party. They intentionally positioned themselves in the art house to wait in as close to a central position of the map as possible for teams to start fighting, and then that's where they chose where to go. I am not seeing other teams play like this, and this is one thing where Ransom, yeah, they didn't win, they didn't get first place, but they got second place in the first map, and they got 2 third places. That consistency is going to help, but if they could hit this pacing and also start winning boxes, Jerry, I think it could do some good things for them.
Yeah, it adds up. I think they'll be happy with that 1 second place finish so far today. That's a meaningful result against this lobby. I think they'll want to make sure that they get another podium finish this final round. They can try and best either KCP or Envy. They've managed it once. They got the better of KCP on the first map on Fortune Stadium. If they can do that again, then they can be really proud of themselves. I'm talking as though Vengeance are a non-factor right now because they've lost 3 in a row here. They don't want to make it 4. Like I said, that 80 points is looming. They don't want to come away from the first Playday with that, especially after a flawless run through the best of 3s in 3 versus 3 in qualifiers. it's
True.
you know, a lot of things, there's a lot of factors, but I don't think that on paper they're a weak Cashout side. I think they've just been dealt a bit of a curveball today with that, you know, having to have a sub step in and having only 2 people in the first map. You know, lots of asterisks over Vengeance's performances today. We can give them the benefit of the doubt, but even so, the best teams will find a way through. And I think, you know, Ransom are there for the taking. They can at least claim a 3rd place out of this RD. Maybe even snatch a spot on the podium.
100% agreed. Especially just given the fact that they aren't necessarily. Oh, wait, did I see a switch up? They're playing detail on medium.
Yeah, Belize was back on the heavy here as well.
Belize on heavy, detail on medium. Wow.
Maybe they're just saying, let's feed Belize as much as possible. Let's enable him, get the heal beam going for detail. Yeah, it's a valid strategy. HML, you know, we've seen plenty of teams rock it, and now that leaves Envy as the only HLL side in this lobby. But we're tuning in right now with KCP, and that is a nice snipe out of there from Noose. The 93 Alpha Beta will find T-Mills, and now it's only Slothy down in an instant. Really strong fight there from Ransom to kick things off against KCP.
Wow, and we still have the fight going on the other side there. Thanks to Vengeance and Envy for waiting to finish us out until that was done. How kind of them. Stand by Luke, also standing in the corner. Very kind of them to just donate that area. Gremlin, I don't even know if he took damage or if he just got full heal. Look at that. He just completely withstanding that. 350 pounds of pure amazing cuteness. And now we have Ransom on their way over to plug. We are on suspended sponsor structures here in Bernal, which is one of my favorite arenas, and I think this is the reason that we have 3 HMLs, is because the fact that this map does very much benefit a little bit of poke gameplay. Oh, we've got KCP coming over here. We do have a lot of fight about to happen. There's so much tension in the air, and well, a lot of tension that Slothy is trying to prevent from hitting them in a way that matters with that mesh shield. But what is happening, Jerry?
Yeah, they're trying to read their opposition's movements, and now we can see on the outlines what's going on as up goes Slothy, but he's left alone. Unfortunately, the rest of his team didn't manage to come with him. I think that jump pad got taken out. Perhaps Space and Noose managing to find Slothy and Varian. And now Timo's the last one alive here. An easy cleanup for Space as that first defense of this Isolt structure holds true for Ransom.
Wow. I mean, hey, height absolutely mattered there. We look to the other side, though. Envy possibly about to get into a scrap and or scuffle, but no, Vengeance.
No.
They're on this side, where Envy just gets their box completely for free. And Vengeance, I think they kind of missed their chance to be a third party. Everyone...
Wow. That's one way to go out. Luke immediately destroyed by the C4.
They're like, wasn't even an explosion. I just saw like 5 coins fall off the side of it. I'm sorry. That was hilarious. But yeah, so I mean, Ransom, this is the best part about suspended sponsor structures, is that you have so much height to play with. And given the fact that this is going to be possibility in the TGM, I'm loving that we're seeing it here. And we're seeing Envy take out KCP. KCP is dead again.
Yeah, we tuned into the fight a little bit late there, but it was a pretty clean one, Uni getting the opener, and KCP just dealt with. And you can see now the strength that these suspended sponsor structures bring you on this map. Of course, both of these objectives now having been used, objectives are very unlikely to spawn up here again for the next wave, so we can expect perhaps a little bit more of a brawl, a bit more of a tussle for the next 2 objectives. Right now, you know, it's so easy for Ransom and Envy that they're just taking pot shots at each other from a million miles away.
I mean, again, that's what I love about HML on this. HML benefits so much when you're playing poke battles because, hey, the H+ Infuser, you can go from an almost dead heavy to a completely full sprightly heavy in just 1 second. But
yeah,
if you're taking poke damage, you don't need all of it. The heal beam shines in those.
Yeah, and Envy managed to get that, you know, hold from on high, working with just the 2 lights as well. You know, it doesn't need the HML comp necessarily. It gives you a bit more... Well, a bit more sustain. You've got the defibs and you know, assault rifles are a bit better than most of the light options at range. But, you know, if you're Uni, it probably doesn't matter, you know? You got that difference. And here we see now Ransom getting that box going, and they're heading over to the other suspended sponsor structure, the final one on this map, the Trentila green one. And the last objective looks like it's on the Cathedral. So lots of high ground being held here on Bernal.
Oh yeah, and check this XP54, the Arena Crimson from TGM25. It looks so good. Space goes out, and we've got Envy just absolutely chopping away up here, but there's a lot of teams involved. And for now, Noose, last player standing on Ransom. They are holding their box, but looks like Envy is about to take it from them because Space, well, he coins back in. Vitor, a few more seconds of coining as well. Envy will be able to reset around the same time, but looks like Ransom will have a slight chance to posture a little bit better before them. Both teams having reset. We see Envy draw up the top, but Ransom, they go even more up top on the very roof. And Bubba, he's going to go out in a hail of gunfire. Uni goes out as well. It's just Gremlin. And that's why height is everything, folks. Ransom making the FAMAS look phenomenal. Space, a great performance. We have KCP on the other side of it. And KCP, they're already fighting vengeance. We see Standing Luke die. Police in detail. They have to try to cross this gap.
They do. Space is just having a brilliant play day so far, isn't it? It feels like everything incredible that Ransom do, he's at the center of it. That was just an incredible recovery. I really expected Envy to roll that one home, but they didn't make it. Now Vengeance moving forward. Luke is going to be able to coin back in fairly shortly, so we see Billy's taking his time with this red barrel, maybe looking to take a chunk or two out of this suspended structure with about 40 seconds left on it. But we see Envy as well also positioning themselves to collapse on D.
Oh, and collapse they will. Ransom needs to try to stay poised as high as possible here as Vengeance looks to try and cause a little bit of havoc. And Envy looks for the right position to get themselves involved. But Detail goes out immediately. Thanks to a nice crossfire, the Gremlin was able to set up with Bubba, but Uni, he's going to have to drop away very quickly. Gremlin somehow survives, takes out standby Luke. Ransom, they're still holding onto the box, but Police is going to try to steal. Envy is not going to stop it. Instead, it's going to be out to Ransom that manages to stop it here. Envy does their best to try to chunk away at it, but they're not going to be able to do much. Ransom manages to hold onto the box, and Ransom manages to stay in first place as Envy rambles
that gives
try
you
and
away.
find it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that mesh shield. He didn't need to do that.
Oh, his
Come
teammates
on.
both coined in, and now they're chasing down Uni to maybe get the wipe here
Oh!
on Envy, and they're going to get it. No, they're not. How did you get all that?
Uni, what?
Okay.
Okay.
He was living on borrowed time there. That was impressive from Uni, but there's only so much magic he can pull out of his pants. Ransom, that was impressive. I mean, they positioned themselves really well considering the two third parties coming in at them, but it did work out in their favor. You know, Envy and Vengeance just ended up taking bites out of each other, as is often the case with these third parties. And yeah, Ransom holding on with all their might. A moment there that Belize looked like he might sneak a steal despite being the last player alive on his team. But as it is, Vengeance again sort of languishing at the bottom of the scoreboard, looking very likely to end this playdate on a meager 80 points. Let's see who manages to get those top two spots. Ransom right now on a whirlwind of confidence. They do manage to wipe Vengeance, just so in the wound of the squad that managed to go flawless through the qualifiers here. But more importantly, are they going to grab these final boxes? They get plugged on objective B. Meanwhile, Envy and KCP fighting over A.
And fight over A they will, because Ransom, they are set in stone up at first place. They actually could come over and get involved over here if they wanted to. Envy, they need to figure out how they could guarantee this plug. If KCP plugs, it's all set and done. Envy, this plug is everything. It's why they're going so slow with it. The KCP.
Oh, KCP!
Oh, they got the plug! That's so bad for Envy! And oh my god, so is T-Mill's Chimera! Slothy gonna be able to protect his medium while they get the res. This is phenomenal team play from KCP. They had a rough start to this match, but they are absolutely recovering in prime form. Here comes Envy, though, down on the sidelines, trying to go through every single nook and cranny of this building. What is happening on the side here? Gremlin getting a full free res, and now the third party has arrived. It's time. Vengeance here with a vengeance, and a winch to take out Varian. Now 1v1, the heavy v heavy. Slothy tries to survive here. The Shack 50 needs to be reloaded from Belize, but he's going to be able to punch him to death instead. T-Mill's still up, but no doubt that Deep still on cooldown. The dancing, what are we doing? KCP's still up, Envy's still up, everything's happening.
Detail is actually getting the steal here, despite the BM from Vengeance. Oh, but Gremlin plays spoiler. He knows he wants that box for himself. Kansas City Pioneers are looking worse for wear, and they're not in a position to defend this steal. It looks like it's going to go through, and that is it. Successful for Envy, but they still have a minute to hold, and they're only left with Uni scrambling in a 1 versus 4.
And Ransom is here too!
Envy been
Ransom
wiped
takes
now.
no duty.
Ransom. KCP are getting the flip back now at full strength.
I can't believe this. It's so chaotic. And Ransom and KCP and Vengeance, everybody fighting over this box. Somehow KCP still alive, but it feels like Vengeance didn't even lose any momentum off of that. I mean, they're back already, but it is going to be so hard for them to find an entrance to go and steal. T-Mills, he's got the defibs. They're ready to strike. He gets the defib onto Slothy. Looks like Vengeance might be able to pull this off. No, they're stopped at the last moment. It stays to KCP. They can wipe in another dance. Oh my god! And we get the full steal here for Vengeance. Ransom lets it happen.
Second. How have they done that? It's because KCP have wiped and they've lost a massive percentage. Only about
and Ransom
7 seconds left. No time to steal. How have Vengeance danced their way to a second place finish?
Oh my goodness! In that chaos, Ransom let Vengeance steal. I can't believe that.
Wow. KCP and Envy mudded. First time today that we've seen Envy fail to claim a top 2 spot and have to settle for less. And we really saw Ransom pull out all the stops in that game. They were in control from start to finish. We saw some standout plays from space. We saw brilliant heads-up coining to jump on the opportunity to kill Uni and get Envy down again. And look at that. I mean, they finished the game with what? It was something like 69,000 in pocket. Incredible stuff.
It was incredible. Oh, this is the moment. All right, count. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, that's a mesh.
4.
Yeah.
And then how many dances did we get from Belize? I mean, this was just chaos at its finest. And Jerry, this third party here on this box was so long, by the way, that 2 teams were able to wipe and come back before the third party was finished.
They needed to as well, but like for Vengeance to get anywhere near second place, they needed to see a bunch of wipes go their way. And look at that, they only just managed to surpass KCP on the standings. That's less than 2,000, 59k the final tally for Ransom. But look at the death column for them. That's what really set them apart. They were getting kills for sure. Uni got the most in the lobby, but they kept themselves alive. Look at that. They were left alone for some of it, but you know, you create your own luck, and it feels like they've been on the up and up during today. Finally get themselves a first place finish. I think they couldn't be prouder.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what a split between them. For the first 2 games, the first game, it was very close, but it was just Envy coming in overpowering, and KCP is almost, that third place position. But for Ransom, genuinely, they had such a solid performance today. 1 second place finish, 1 first place finish. Phenomenal. But the cake absolutely still goes to KCP. 2 first place finishes guarantees them up in that top spot. Envy with 1 first place and 1 second place. 2 second places. But guys, I don't know numbers. I don't know how to count. I don't know how to do anything. Jerry, before I set it onto the desk, I just got to remind the folks to check out phltf.com. Jerry, any final words before we go to the desk?
I actually do have final words for you, Ardy, for once. I just want to shout out Belize. I love the fact that he was hitting the gritty in the games and managed to make it work. Like, it's crazy. You've got to respect the clip farming when it pays off like that. So, yeah, that's my final thought, Ardy.
Absolutely. I could have said it better. Back to you, Deskies.
Well, that was one heck of a match, and I cannot believe what we just saw at the end there. I mean, Belize throwing in the emote not once but twice, and then Vengeance takes second place in that map. And I have to say, though, I was a little worried about Vengeance because for the first 3 maps, they barely even got over 10K. Like, they were not getting any money on the board. They were struggling a little bit. So it was one of those things where I was getting worried. And mind you, just to remind everyone, if I remember correctly, I went to Belize's stream the other day, and he basically said, like, this team came together the day of golf, or the day of the signups. So they had just a few hours left, and they were like, all right, screw it, we'll play together. And here they are. And I was so worried they weren't going to be able to do anything during league play. But hey, you know what? Maybe you throw some emotes in there, do some BM, and free second place for you. But I mean, not surprised by the results, kind of, but at the same time, kind of am, because Ransom just played out of his mind, Sam.
This entire group was surprising. I mean, we said it was going to be close. I didn't expect Kansas City Pioneers and Envy to be tied. They're both at 280 points after all that. And Ransom only 20 points behind. And a lot of my notes, I took, a couple notes on every single map. Every single one says Ransom is shooting. Those guys are just tearing up the lobbies in eliminations. It just, the cash didn't flow their way on a few of these maps. But overall, I mean, it really, really impressive performance by them.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, Cody, was there any moment where we had to feel a little worried for like KCP, especially because they were kind of like sitting in the middle, and then they would like get up in front, and then they kind of fell back, and it was just like every moment I was like, is KCP gonna walk away with first or second, at least in these maps?
Yeah, I felt like there was a lot of times for a lot of teams that I kind of felt that way. In a way, I do feel like KCP probably was the most dominant force out of that entire series. I mean, they did kind of come out, with 2 wins in that section. So to me, I feel like while there was some parts where it got a little hairy, they were still the most consistent in the grand scheme of things. One thing I want to say is that my prediction was Vengeance for this series, right? And it kind of broke my heart that literally game 1, they lost Logan. So that was unfortunate. And to be honest, I kind of felt like they never got their footing back after that happened. They had like some moments where they were right. They were hitting the gritty a couple times. They were doing some stuff. But really overall, I mean, it didn't feel like after they got Standby Luke back, it just felt like they never really got their footing. I don't know. It was sad to see. Especially as Bus, right, over in Ape Squad Classics. I mean, I feel like Bleece has been playing the best he's ever been, and I'm wondering if this is just a one-off. I don't know if this is something we can expect going in the next play days, but I hope Vengeance can continue to cook and maybe come out even better than Bus did, because I think Bleece, this is his year, man. If there is any year, it is this year. This is Bleece's year. So I want to keep that energy. I'm a Vengeance fan right now.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I mean, Bleece, I feel like has always been one of those players where like he's kind of getting tossed around a little bit. He seemed to be like playing with like those upper rosters, the guys that we expect to dominate. And then slowly but surely last year, he kind of like trickled around, and it was just like we didn't know where Bleece was going to end up. So, I mean, he's playing that underdog story. He's like, all right, fine. If no one wants me on their team, I'm going to go make my own team. And then this is what happened. And I agree with you. I'm a big fan of Bleece. I think he's been one of the few people who like stuck with Heavy from the beginning. There's people that like, we need to fill in the roster. Okay, I'll play the Heavy. Like Bleece is like, no, I'm a Heavy main. I'm going to, come in and dominate. And that's exactly what we saw, at least in the last game. The first few were a little worrisome, but the last game, I mean, Bleece, again, just throwing that gritty in and everything, but...
Well, you said like, yeah, he's committed to the Heavy bit this entire time until I think it was map 2 when we saw him on Light, apparently.
True, yeah.
So all of a sudden, Detail joined in the roster, and I just saw the Twitch chat flood with like Bleece on Light ?
Yeah, true.
I haven't seen the rabbit helmet on such a small body before. Usually we've been on the big Heavy player model. So it was interesting, but. Yeah, I agree with y'all. This is his year. I really hope, it's unfortunate that Logan was dealing with the crashes that he was. I hope that this team, can recover from it. But I mean, even then, they were showing some signs of life right there at the end. They came out with a 2nd place finish. And I mean, in terms of points, they're at 140, which isn't the worst place to be. No,
not at all. It's honestly really a pretty decent start. I won't say great. Decent start, and again,
right.
We have multiple days of league play as close on the Fridays as well. Is going to be very important when we do the final rounds, where it is the head-to-head matches. That's going to be where you can really start scoring some big points. And maybe unfortunately the Logan getting computer problems, as Artie said in game 3, traps on traps with traps. Maybe his computer got trapped. Who knows? But
yeah.
Speaking of traps, we do have another match for you. So we're going to trap you here with more finals as we check out our next pick and bans for our next match. And in the order, we do top seed gets to ban first all the way down to 4th seed, and then in reverse order they pick. That's why the maps are kind of all over the place and everything. But yeah, so Auntie's Goo Boys decided to ban Skyway Stadium, and then their map pick was Las Vegas Stadium. So I'm very excited to see that one, but that will be the last map. But the first one we're going to be seeing is right back where we left off in Bernal. Yeah, I could speak. But yeah, K9 deciding they banned Fortune Stadium and they wanted to go in with Bernal. I mean, seeing the type of teams that we were going into this one, right? I remember during the open qualifiers, I said one of the things I'm always worried about when it comes to teams like Anti-Goo Boys is the fact that I generally think Ikazo can really thrive off high-rise buildings. And since Bernal, all they have is like a church in the middle, it really can't do anything about that. So last match, we saw everyone do pretty good on their map picks besides Envy, who got last place on their map pick. Then again, they were also the 4th map pick. But, you know, now, do we think K9 picking Bernal first is going to set themselves up for victory moving forward?
I think it's interesting, right? Because K9, yeah, they picked Bernal, but more interestingly to me, they banned Fortune, which is just, you know, like we said, coming in that first group, that was the most standard map pool you probably can have in comp finals. And K9 being, like I said, they've probably been around finals comp, but most of these players on this roster I'm not as familiar with. So I want to say that they're relatively new, at least like PHL and such. I'm curious to know if this was like a counter pick and maybe they have something special in the back of their pocket, or, you know, they just, you know, like Bernal and don't like Fortune. So I'm curious to see how this one shakes out.
Yeah, true. But we're going to be getting into this game momentarily. So it's time to do the good old pick and bans. I don't think we're going to have any graphics for this one, unfortunately. So we're still not going to see the still picture of me. I'm still terrified for you guys to see that one. I don't like pictures of me for some reason. But we're going to start with Cody. We're going to go on your side this time. Oh, I pointed the wrong way. Cody, this way.
Yeah, I'm right here. Man, you know, when in doubt, Kazo it out. It's Auntie's Goo Boys, man. That's who I'm voting for this group. I mean, there are so many good teams, but good old Oppo, good old Kazo, good old Katie Killer. I mean,
yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
sales all the time, man.
100%. How about you?
Right there with you. I'm going AGB. Yeah, EK and Apo together. Just, I mean, two super experienced players, obviously, and them being on heavy together. It's just like Apo said, has been a breath of fresh air. And then Katie just absolutely slaying on the light. You know, this has been a team that teams have really struggled to topple and deal with. So I've got them going at least today.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And unfortunately, the line I'm about to say is probably going to get clipped. Give me the goo for Auntie's Goo Boys. I 100% with you. So the desk all together are all about the Auntie's Goo Boys. And it's now time for the casters to talk about it. Artie, do you want the goo?
Jerry, what does it say in the... What does it say there? Are we good?
I think he's all right. I mean, like, your head honcho, like, it's
yeah, but you have the HR rulebook.
It doesn't have anything in here about what Randomize just said. So
flip to page 13. Does that have the? That's where we had the stuff about goo specifically.
I don't know.
We will never financially recover from this if he wasn't allowed to say that.
I've just been told that the game might be starting though, so I think we just
all right.
have to
In that
this
case,
a bit later, you know.
Yeah, we got to do that later. We're about to jump into the game then, and I guess, hey, you know what? If it's fine for him to say it, it's fine for me to say it. Mimi Goo Boy, yes, Goomy Auntie. Let's see what's gonna happen. Jerry, what's your pick?
Can I pick to not be here?
No, you can pick to be on Bernal, which is where we're going to be starting off, and I hope we get suspended sponsor structures again. That was honestly incredibly fun to watch, and maybe a little bit more frustrating for those teams, but, you know, they could be more frustrating than when you have a Kazo building a giant goo tower and your Cashout is suspended in the air on a normal building. It's going to be crazy, so regardless of what we get, it's going to be a fun time here.
We are waiting for other contestants to connect, just in case you're wondering. This is interesting. I've never seen this. This didn't look promising. It doesn't look promising. But assuming we can get into the game, what are your thoughts about these teams then? You know, we've heard the desk go over their picks It seems to be a pretty confident Auntie's Goo Boys vote across the board. This is, just interestingly enough, of the many games that we have today. Oh, no.
Oh, you are. That's utopian, unfortunately.
I'm just going to finish.
Our observer not allowed to be in the game.
I'm just going to finish my thought, which is that this is the least stacked. Oh,
we had the observer bug. We might have to remake the lobby for that, unfortunately.
Yes.
So, either way, gamers, we're going to be back in. Jerry, finish your thought. I'll let you have this.
My thought was going to be that this is the least stacked lobby on paper. We have only one player that is here in this lobby that was at TGM 25, and that is Brendy. Interestingly enough,
actually, both Apo and Akazo were at TGM 25. They just weren't playing in it.
Yes, I was going to get there. Apo, of course, was coaching for Pulsar Blue. What was Akazo doing?
Chilling on the couch when I walked past him. He was vibing.
Okay. Yeah, so he wasn't actually like with the team. He sort of jumped into competitive,
moisturized,
a bit more seriously recently. But yeah, he was there. He was there for the actual event, and he also went through the close qualifiers, I believe. So yeah, Akazo, he's been around. It's not like an unexperienced team. And honestly, AGB in recent months, they've really stepped it up when it comes to just their commitment to competitive and their ability. Like, they're looking really sharp. What, Ardy, you have a question?
Another thing that we haven't talked about, though, is that not only is this the quote-unquote least stacked lobby that we have today, but it's also the most off-meta lobby that we have, because not only do we have Auntie's Goo Boys, we have Godspeed, which, if you know anything about being terrified when you play ranked, you know that you've got Hacho and Uvinity on that roster, and Tank Hero, of course, Tank Hero. I didn't forget about you. It's just that Hacho has so much aura that he's the only thing I think about when there is a sword flying at my face at Mach speed. And when you have a dedicated sword light, like, this is my favorite part about the finals, right? Is that we've got genres of players. You have, this guy is a medium, and he's good at medium. You got T-Mills, he's good at the pike, and he's good at the chimera, and he doesn't use the F-car when everyone else uses it. And you've got, like, some really cool things where you've got, like, this is Slothy, and he's just, like, always on heavy, and he's a god heavy. And you've got, Lamp and Grem, who are also god heavies, and you've got Grad, who's like a god light. Doesn't matter what he plays, he's god light, 9-3R, like, light player. Then those are fine. It's like they have a class that they play, and they're good at it. But when you have somebody who's just good with a single weapon and it's a sword, that's terrifying. Like, this, like, let me put it this way. Hacho is to the average gamer what a nuke is to, like, anything with a sword. And so, like, he's just insane. It's going to be so much fun to watch this. And to watch him up against Auntie's Goo Boys as well. Like, I don't know which is a better counter to which. And this is how we're all going to learn together, chat. Get your notebooks out.
It's a crazy set of interactions that we're going to come across here. And to quote Bruce Lee, I had to type this because I was like, this is perfect for this. I do not fear the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once. I fear one who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. You come up against a sword light, you know that they're dedicated, and they're terrifying. Ardy, there's some unfortunate news that I think you're going to have to be the bearer of.
Yeah, so apparently it's actually not our fault this time. The servers
That's the good news.
Are down.
That's the bad news.
So, like, if y'all wanted to go and play ranked right now, you couldn't. Because the servers are down. If you guys wanted to, like, hey, while PHL's I'm gonna go cute, you can't. So we're all here together, and slowly, as we bring the finals community together right here on this broadcast, we're gonna try to see what's gonna happen. Maybe, hear me out, if everybody here has a friend that's trying to play the finals, and then instead of playing the finals, say, hey, the servers are broken, come watch PHL anyway. We'll kick enough people out of their servers and enough people to stop queuing that we'll be able to get a lobby. And then Reddit can actually complain about esports taking control of the game. Maybe. Yeah, vote now on your phones.
Vote now on your phones. Call in.
Call in. I'm taking viewer calls.
Yeah. Ardy's phone number is 0.
Well,
Would you-
I'm
I could just
not
do it.
gonna give you my phone number, but someone who will give you their phone number is our beautiful desk. Because honestly, Randomize, Sam, and Cody have been doing a fantastic job locking it down on the desk. And honestly, Sam and Cody have been giving phenomenal just analysis and in-depth talk on every single one of these teams. So I kind of want to hear from them more than anything what they think about Hacho going up against Auntie's Goo Boys.
If it happens.
Well, I'll start us off. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Around the Arena, your podcast for... Sorry.
Wrong.
No.
PHL.
Sorry, wrong show. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess we're yapping it up, fellas. Oh,
Never
I
mind.
heard
Never
teams
mind.
starting
We're back.
potentially.
Okay, back
yeah,
to
never
the
mind. Hold on to
Casters.
that
Bye,
one.
guys.
Well, until Emil transfers us over, I guess.
We're back, and apparently maybe
We're
the
back.
servers are too. We are potentially, possibly, there is a chance, a very little, but Jerry, is it?
Don't get too excited. We've been burned once, and if there's one place that you can get burned, it's Burnal, because it's where all the burn happens. That's not promising.
If it happens again, well, hey, at the very least, though, this is closer than we got before, because before we would try to press a button and then it would be like, like not letting you and whatnot. So there is a chance everybody's here. Anyway, guys, if we're still having server outages, though, that means everybody that's trying to play the finals, as soon as they finish their match, they're going to come here.
A second
We're gonna have...
server connection timeout has hit the stream. As is tradition from RD. Thank you.
I haven't heard
Well,
that guy
that's
since the
disappointing.
major. How did we get
Yeah,
the
who-
budget to have him here?
Maybe I should check my book and see if there's anything in there again. No, I did this joke already, so
We already-
that doesn't even work.
We ran out of bits. We weren't planning on having 2 bits.
I have a post-it note with 2 bits. One of them was Burnal, and then one of them was that, and I already used it. So yeah, it's slim pickings for you today, folks. Unfortunately, you're stuck with us for a little bit. We will figure it out. You know, we always figure it out. Some gremlin somewhere, not actual gremlin. Although he is now free. You know, he's not playing the finals anymore. As in, he's done for the day. Right? He's played his 4 maps. Maybe he can go and fix it for us. One of the best heavies in the world. Nay, probably the best heavy in the world. Lay claim to that. With some confidence, having won TGM 25.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He needs to go out there and fix things with his Shack or SA-1216, whatever works. Just go and kill the little monsters that are attacking the internet cables under the sea.
Yep. And, well, while we wait for Gremlin to do his job and fix the servers, we're going to go back to the desk for real this time.
I don't believe you, Artie. I don't believe
Cody's muted. Cody, you're muted. Cody, you're muted. Cody, you're muted. This bit sucks. You're muted.
Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna H+ the servers. We're good.
Yeah, he's got it, everybody. Don't worry.
that was the bit. It felt really good in the moment.
And it honestly makes sense that, if anything, you were muted, because it just goes along with the fact that Hacho probably cut the servers with the sword accidentally. But,
He
yeah.
shamed his last shong. Oh, poor Hacho.
It's
Well,
just one of
it's
those...
on cooldown now, so we're gonna have to wait.
And we're gonna have to wait a few minutes. But yeah, it's just one of those moments where, you know, there's some things that are in our control and some things that are not. And unfortunately,
Well,
servers
you mean
going
Artie's
down.
fault.
Yeah, true.
There's some things that are in our control.
Are
and
in
some
our
things that
control.
are Artie's
Sometimes
fault.
aren't. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, okay, I know a lot of people here in the finals community don't know me that well, but I've been around in esports since 2008. And still to the biggest day, the scariest thing that ever has happened to me was at a LAN. I owned an esports team. They were on the stage, ready to go, and Xbox Live went down. All of Xbox Live went down for 4.5 hours. There's literally, I don't know if the VOD's still around, but there was a VOD of me lying down along the chairs where the pros sit. And you just see my butt. Like, my butt was just high enough that you could see me over the tables waiting.
So funny.
And then there was a moment you see me jump up and down because I thought the servers worked, and then it didn't, and I just went right back down. So yeah, this is nothing new to me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Hey, well, real quick, while the servers are down, you want to know what servers aren't down? Our website, phltf.com. Head over there if you want to get up to speed on everything you missed today regarding standings and match recaps. Our lovely team that has been keeping score in basically real time has done a great job. So if you missed EMEA, you can check that out. The VOD's also on the web. No, it's not on the website because we're live right now. So when we're offline, the VOD will be there. Sorry, I had to correct myself.
Are you sure we're
there.
live? Are we sure the stream is just not down with the servers at this point? I don't know.
That depends. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, your production is like, we're fine. Everything
Yeah, you give him a heart attack. You gotta hold on there.
Yeah, even production is like, any day now, please. But yeah, anyway, let's talk about the games that we have potentially to happen. Maybe. I mean, we can kind of we did our predictions earlier, right? We all pretty much said like anti-goo guns is going to take this one. But I'm genuinely curious, Sam, who do you think is going to take second place overall in this match, do you think?
Oh man, that's tough because I mean Vanguard looked so good. I actually had a tough choice between Auntie's Goo Boys and Vanguard. I went Auntie's Goo Boys here just because of like the goo gun and counter picking. I feel like is harder to navigate than the standard meta of a team. So I always feel like when it comes to like first week of league play, that would throw a wrench in the plans. So for me, I think it's Vanguard here, but I mean it could go either way in that regard.
So pretty much I could agree with you. You say throw a wrench, I say throw a sword, maybe throwing knives, whatever. We can the off meta that's going on. Also, we got updates from production that other servers for other games are down right now. So yeah, if you're playing any video game, good luck. Thank God for single player games. But Cody, do you agree though that Vengeance is going to be taking that second place?
Vanguard?
Do you feel like someone else? Or Vanguard? Dang it, man!
Yeah,
I knew
you're
it was
all
gonna...
good. There's a lot of
note
there's a
that
lot
says
of V teams. There's a lot of V teams. Okay,
It doesn't help that we have Vengeance, Vanguard. It also doesn't help that there were teams like Memento Mori and Memento Amer. People, there's so many words in the dictionary. Pick other ones, please.
Right. You're excused, but if you do it one more time, I can't speak on it. I'm not allowed. I'm contractually obligated to not say, but it's not pretty. So just be careful. That was your one. All right.
No.
Well, anyways, yeah, I think Vanguard honestly even has the chance to take it home straight up. I mean, Vanguard is an insane team. If anything, I mean, they're guaranteed second place at the minimum. There's a high chance that they can get first place here. The real question is if we're going to get into the game to find out. That is the real question to figure out. Randomized, but it's okay. So we're going to keep yapping. That's something that Sam and I are, some might even say, experts at. So Sam, I'm just going to jump into it. What's my good question starter that we're going to get into? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, quick comment. So people are saying AWS, and I work in cloud, and so of course now I'm worried are things blowing up at work, and I pulled up on the side monitor here. Go to AWS Health, and it says immediately disrupted. Yeah, this outage might last a little bit, but go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, well, speaking of, we haven't seen much nullifier, guys. It's used occasionally when there's the double lights, but why do you think it isn't getting pulled out that much? Maybe.
I think for me, it's one of those gadgets that's like high risk, high reward probably isn't the right way to phrase it per se. But, if you miss, then it's just on cooldown and you've wasted a gadget slot. And when we're talking about the light class, there's kind of, three things, and one of them has a flex slot now. You got H plus and you got gateway. They're kind of two core pieces of utility. And then that second slot is now kind of either glitch nade or vanish bomb has started to work its way in over the past season or so. You have to sacrifice something. The question is, are you going to sacrifice the burst healing that has made the light class so good and why like HLL has become kind of viable in my opinion? Do you sacrifice movement with the gateway, or do you sacrifice a lot of util, whether it's glitching domes, turning invis so you can, continue to stay alive and get reses for your team? For a nullifier that if you whiff, you are just you just lost all your value. For me, I think the cons outweigh the pros for that trade.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, part of it is also like we're talking about if you're doing like, especially if you're doing a double L, right? There's a lot of different util that we could use, and I just feel like if anything, the fact that there's also the sonar grenade, I feel like if you were to replace anything, and you don't want to like double up, you know, because a lot of people or a lot of teams might do like double vanish or double gateway, because then you can really move things around. But if you didn't want to double, I would almost prefer the sonar over the tranquilizer, just because of the fact that I get more information out of it. Even if it's not a first perfect sonar throw, you can kind of spread that sonar out with 2 different sonar grenades and get a lot of information. And after we saw a last few pictures, or excuse me, last few maps, we saw maybe sonar grenade would have been really nice with the amount of third parties that were going on, even fourth parties. It was kind of insane, you know? And it's one of those moments where, oh man, if I just had a sonar grenade and I could just drop it at my feet, it'd be great to know if people are above or below, you know, wherever the heck they are. And but it is funny when you do have the tranquilizer, because of the fact the way that Embark, you know, back in the day to today's, you know, back in the day you got shocked, you couldn't turn your body, you couldn't do anything, you just were a standing, you know, standing target. Now you turn into a ghost, as what I like to call it. And it is really funny because it feels like a game of tag where you see like a 5-year-old kid run up to you and go, you're it, and then run. And now you're just sitting there like, come here, you little, the entire time. I don't know if you guys.
So now I have another conversation starter to keep the things moving. All right. So we know that double light is common. Why haven't we seen more lockbolt, boys?
Great question. You're probably going to see it in this matchup with Akazo if we get
probably.
To see it.
Yeah, but that's his thing.
That's
his thing.
I think it's in that kit normally by either Apo or EK.
That doesn't count though. Why haven't heavies put on lockbolt more?
Because I have the wench, I feel like maybe. I don't know. It's funny because out of all people to use the lockbolt, it's Akazo who needs the goo gun, whereas everyone else that don't use it, they have the wench. You know, and it's one of those moments where sometimes I feel like meme moments that we see, people don't take advantage of that and look at it and go, oh, that could actually be a good strat. I mean, back in the day, people were putting the lockbolt on like a goo barrel close to anything like the cash out, and they would just run away with it. You know, it's one of those like, why are we doing that anymore? That'd be kind of fun. I don't know. You know, Sam, do you feel the same?
You know, Lockbolt's just one of those gadgets that, again, you know, can provide value. The heavy class has kind of been stuck with what they've ran over time. It's been Wench, now Mesh Shield. RPG and C4 for drop is pretty crucial at this point because, you know, I think during open quals, we said a lot of teams, one of the biggest changes I feel like I've seen since TGM till now with the heavies that do play Wench, is people aren't really winching the box like out of buildings per se anymore. They're taking every layer of drop that they can and then winching it away or using that winch for stall later on. So getting rid of any kind of drop, you know, RPG obviously provides a lot of damage in opening fights as well, especially if you do have a medium and things like that, is hard to get rid of. And then Dome Shield is, I mean, Dome Shield, like what are we doing if we're not running it at this point? Yeah, it's just a classic, again, just tough one to swap to. However, the fact that we're playing against a lot of double lights these days, I wouldn't be so against seeing it start to come out maybe a little more in place of the RPG if you know that you're going up against double light. Because that RPG could be hard to hit against 2 dashing lights. I mean, that's just the reality of it.
It would be really funny. Just imagine in the middle of production, Artie's casting, going crazy. A light goes to dash out the window. A lockball hits him, and they start playing Spider-Man in front of a window. I can imagine Artie just losing his mind, watching a light just spinning around on the lockball because they don't know where to go. But yeah, no, I agree with that one. Now, Cody, conversation starter for you, my friend. But since medium seems to be struggling so much, you know, because of the HLLs, what do you think needs to change to get the mediums back into the meta?
That's a loaded question. Well,
put it right on you, buddy.
You could start by freeing up a util slot. Yeah, Bark. That is also becoming a loaded question. What if, hypothetically, the defib was a specialization, guys?
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm actually
I think
not
that should be
against
the
that.
case. Yeah, I think that should be the case.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the big problem, right, is like every class has its. Oh, we're really getting to this discussion. All right, turn on around the arena now. All right. Well, anyways.
Do you want me to do
No, I
the
mean,
intro
like-
again? I can do it one more time. No, go ahead.
Anyways, genuinely, like it is one of those things that every class has the thing that you kind of have to run, right? You're kind of throwing if you don't run. It's like light and gateway, okay? If you don't have gateway on, you're, all right, guys. So and it's same thing with like heavy, with like RPG, or like dome shield. Like you kind of got to run one of these. And medium, the problem is you kind of have to run like 3 gadgets. So there's just not a lot of something. And the problem I think really revolves around defib. And I don't think you should nerf it per se, because then it's not going to be useful at all. We've had some cool ideas, Sam and I. We've said maybe what if you could damage the ghost that gets regened and you can cancel a defib. And I think it's a fun way of doing things. You can affect how much health someone reses with, or like other things like that. But the problem is I think you just got to free up a util slot. I don't know how you want to do that. I think Shockwave was a cool idea of adding some movement, but it's just not useful enough in the meta yet. I think Heal Beam's just too dang strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to free up a util slot. I don't know. I don't know how they want to figure that out, but that's the way to do it.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I had a weird idea in my head that I thought would be really cool to get mediums worth it, and it's to kind of be like the spy from Team Fortress, where you can have a gadget or like a specialization that makes you copy one of your teammates. So then, you kill a heavy, and then all of a sudden another heavy comes running around the corner. I think it'd be quite hilarious, honestly. But yeah, I think, unfortunately, folks, it's looking like we are, in fact, screwed. AWS. I'm not the big tech guy or anything, and I saw it, Sam mentioned it earlier. Everyone's saying AWS, and I'm like, isn't it AWP? Like, are we talking about ops or are we talking about something? But yeah, unfortunately, I think we are going to. We're gonna have to postpone, folks. Wait, chat. So hold on a second. We're hearing something. I don't know if I'm hearing, God or Artie. Probably the same thing. But apparently servers are back. Chat, you're saying it. I know we are. I know, there's a small delay. But send me your energy to let me know. I'm actually going to join a game right now real quick. I'm just throwing myself in. We're going to find
Fair
out.
enough.
I really hope you're right. I'm seeing Embark servers, and I don't know if that's a good or bad thing.
Yeah, that comment normally seems not so great.
Yeah, there's those moments where I also enjoy the fact that chat. I'm sorry, chat. We do this delay thing, so the pros or anyone else can't give comms off of us. But I do appreciate you guys in the chat are communicating with us. I appreciate you're all getting into this gadget conversation. I feel like we could sit here for hours and just break it down on every single little thing that could be changed or, for the better or worse or anything like that. But yeah, we're checking to see if we do officially have servers before we make the official call that we are going to postpone or not. I know we would all be happy to not postpone, so give us one more second. So I'm looking like it says game found and connecting to server, but I'm not getting in anywhere, so
I think that's how it's been.
All right.
We got the
Giving
call.
my energy.
It's
Thank
Omega
you,
cooked.
Colin.
Per Artie's words.
Yeah, per Artie's words, it's Omega cooked. No, folks, sorry, it's unworthy. Omega cooked. Yeah, unfortunately, I think that is going to be it, folks. It's one of those things where the server has those little blip moments. You see a flat line and a little blip, and you're like, oh my God, it's alive. No, it's just a little twitch or something. But I think that's going to be it for tonight, folks. Unfortunately, we will have to postpone. You'll have to stay tuned. Make sure to join the PHL Discord to get information. Follow us on Twitter, as well as go to the website at phltf.com because all the information is there. We'll be uploading and updating all the match times and everything. So if we come back on production to run the matches, or if they happen off air, whatever it is, phltf.com is a great place to get all that information. So folks, I'm really sorry about that. Sam, Cody, let's maybe have some closing remarks. Sam, you want to start with that?
All I gotta say is this is one of the first times I've been officially an analyst and not a caster or a host. And I'd say we held it down, fellas. We stalled for like 45 minutes. We're kind of good at this thing. Nah, it's a shame, but yeah, I mean, we'll be back. So don't go anywhere. If anything, at least expect a Playday on Friday for final rounds. So league's still going strong. Plenty of finals to be played, and thanks for at least tuning in. Check out TFC. We do have a website, tfcgg.com, where we keep up with finals news and things like that. So yeah.
Cody?
It just cut out. It just cut out. Yeah, nice try. Nice try, Chip. Nice try, Chip.
It just went into space.
The lion, it looked like a lion that had no roar, but it's okay.
It's just one of those moments where you see a lion raging up and it's a little meow sound. I think that's pretty much what we just got.
Yeah.
All right, well, folks, we are going to be closing out the stream tonight. I do apologize.
I don't want to
know
be you,
we've all
Artie. I am
been-
you.
I know. I was very excited for some more finals. Again, you know, they've never done analysis desk, but I have been a host before, so I had the pleasure of being a host again. Thank you very much, everyone. Big shout outs once again to everyone at PHL and to all that have donated to Matcherino, to our prize pool. Again, we have over $5,000 in prize pool cash, and you can help out too. ! Donate and throw some money into the Matcherino. Thank you again, everyone. Make sure to follow the stream, and we will see you
07.
all on Friday. 07 for you. We'll see you for EMEA Friday.